This is Atomic Shinobi, and today I'm going to narrate what if Naruto has an angel sealed inside of him. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no time, let's start the story.
A giant nine-tailed fox, also known as the Kyuubi no Kitsune, was seen fighting several shinobi and wreaking havoc with its 9 powerful tails, causing a monstrous roar to reverberate throughout the village hidden in the leaves. Hold the beast back, protect the village. A huge cloud of smoke suddenly materialized in front of the Kyuubi, and a tiny yellow flash appeared on top of it. A blond man with ice-blue eyes, wearing a trench coat with flames near the bottom, was standing atop a giant crimson-red toad with a long black pipe with a golden tip. The man was holding a gorgeous red-haired woman with long hair that reached her calves, violet-colored eyes, and a very exhausted body from giving birth to a baby boy who was wrapped in a white cloth around his father's hands. The smoke had cleared. Minato, what the hell is going on? Why is Kushina here and why is Kyuubi attacking? Last I heard he was living peacefully with his mate. A shocked Minato said, Gamabunta, you know Kyuubi? Instead? Know him, I used to drink with him. He was one of my drinking buddies. He and his mate were always together living peacefully in the mountains. I need you to hold him, Gamabunta. I need to seal for the Kyuubi. Seal him? What's going on here, Minato, and why is Kyuubi red? He's supposed to be a silver color? The Kyuubi's crimson eyes abruptly turned golden as it growled at Gamabunta, causing both fighters to turn to face the fox. Gee. Gamabunta, H. Help me, please, the Kyuubi said. Kyuubi, what's happening to you? Why are you attacking the Leaf Village? When the Kyuubi opened its powerful jaw and drew Charka into a concentrated sphere in its mouth, its eyes turned red again. However, as it staggered back from the impact, another giant paw slammed into the Kyuubi's face, disrupting its concentration. The Kyuubi was flanked by another 9-tailed fox, but this one had a white underbelly and exuded elegance. Forgive me, darling, but I can't let you take any more lives, the new fox said in a female voice as she threw herself at the male Kyuubi. The two foxes then began wrestling in an attempt to outdo each other. Kushina shouted, there's another Kyuubi no Kitsune? Technically she's the Kyuubi no Myobu, the 9-tailed vixen. Another demon has appeared. Kill them both to defend the village. Minato yelled, no, stop, she's here to help us, but his fellow shinobi ignored him and charged at both demons, causing the female Kyuubi to collide with the approaching ninja after the male Kyuubi subdued her. With the Kitsune biting down hard on her neck, causing her to whimper in pain and bleed profusely, the vixen begged, darling, please wake up, it's me, your mate, not just for me, but for our kid too. I wanted to surprise you tonight, but I'm pregnant. When she said this, the male Kyuubi's eyes widened, and he released her, roaring in agony as it began flailing and striking its head. Gamabunta launched himself in an attempt to assist the Myobu vixen in capturing the Kitsune, but one of its tails struck him in the left eye, and his claws scratched the vixen's abdomen. The female Kyuubi got up, swaying on her legs, and leapt on her mate, pinning him to the ground. Forgive me, Myobu-san, but I must seal your mate away. I believe that someone may be after his power as well, said Minato. The vixen, gripping her mate sadly as it struggled on, said, then seal me with him, I'm already dying with the amount of blood loss, and my unborn child will never make it on its own. I'll do it, Kushina declared. But, Kushina. That's enough, Minato. I know what you're going to say, but I can tell she has the same power as her mate. Even if we do seal her mate, the person will just be after her, right? Asked Kushina as the vixen nodded. Besides, it's a mother's job to care for her husband and child. Minato and Kushina began performing hand seals when the Shinigami emerged behind them, clutching 2 souls. Interesting, you wish for me to seal both foxes, yet you only have 1 container. You need another container, or I only seal 1. Either way both of you forfeit your lives to me, the Shinigami said with a smile, licking his lips before reaching into Minato's soul. You will do no such thing, Shinigami, he said in a young man with short, silver hair that falls down his back in a loose ponytail, white angelic wings, and icy blue eyes. Along with wearing white robes with dark blue armor that is covered in a blue jewel in the center, he also sports a blue earring on his left ear. You, the angel of the moon, to what do I owe the pleasure of meeting one of God's personal angels? A red-haired woman with chocolate brown eyes, white angelic wings, and a slightly lifted left side said, I believe you mean 2 of God's personal angels. She also had on silver armor, a white kimono, a red earring on her right ear, and a red jewel in the center of her kimono. Layla, the angel of the sun, tell me, why are you interrupting this ritual? Angels? Why are angels present? Minato thought. Gazing at Yu's and Layla's wings, Kushina thought, wow, they're so beautiful. The Almighty has ordered you to spare the souls of these two mortals. You are to seal the souls of the Kyuubi no Kitsune into the child, and the Kyuubi no Myobu to one of our choosing. You are also ordered to seal me with the Kyuubi no Kitsune, and Layla into the second vessel. As payment you will have half our power and half of both Kyuubi's power. Yu said to the vixen. That is, if you wish for this to happen. Your unborn child will also be sealed with you until a more suitable vessel is found, agreed? With tears in her eyes, the vixen nuzzled her partner, who was still resisting her grip, and said, yes, I accept. She has accepted our offer, Shinigami. Now you must follow your orders, Layla replied. Shinigami, know your place. Don't forget we outrank you, and you would be defiling direct orders from the Almighty. You know the punishment for defying orders, Yu said in a dangerous tone as the Shinigami continued to stare at Minato and Kushina with his cold black eyes, worrying them both. As the Shinigami reached into Minato's soul and grasped the Kyuubi's soul, he said, very well, I will do as you say. As the Shinigami's hand moved through Kyuubi's body, his eyes turned a vivid gold once more, and he said, Koto, I'm sorry for what I've done. I hope you can forgive me. I already did. I love you, my darling Kurama. I love you too, my beautiful Koto. Everyone in the group shielded their eyes as a sudden white light surrounded them. 5 years later, a 5-year-old boy was observed swinging by himself from a swing set while observing the other kids playing with their friends and giving their families hugs. The boy had a round face, blonde, spiky hair that was smudged with dirt, cerulean blue eyes, 6 whisker marks on his cheeks, and porcelain skin rather than a tan complexion. He was also covered in dirt and mud from the ground. He was dressed in a tattered white shirt with rips and stains, black cargo pants that appeared too large for him, a rope that served as a belt to keep his pants up, and a tattered, torn brown cloak that concealed his hair and the lower portion of his face, leaving only his eyes showing. Naruto Uzumaki was the boy's name. As Naruto pulled down his makeshift hood to show off his blonde hair and whisker marks, he thought, I wish I had a friend. A voice behind Naruto called out, hey Blondie. Get out of that swing. That's where we play. Naruto turned to see a boy who was about a year older than him, accompanied by 2 other boys who were all glaring at him. In an attempt to avoid trouble, a nervous Naruto said, W. Why don't W? We just share it. One of the boys shoved Naruto out of the swing, making the other 2 laugh at him. Why would we want to share with a monster like you? Get lost, he said. Man, he's so pathetic, he can't even put up a fight. He's nothing but a freak. Look at him, who even wears those stupid clothes like that anymore. And what's with the cape? You think you're some kind of superhero or something? Naruto simply got up and brushed himself off after the 3 boys kept making fun of him, which made him feel even worse. I'm sorry to have bothered you, Naruto said politely, bowing. Before they could decide to torture him further, Naruto turned around and hurried away. The alleged leader of the trio grabbed Naruto's cloak and said, where do you think you're going, you freak? We're not done with you yet. Naruto gacked a little at the slight tug on his throat as the other 2 swiftly surrounded him. Please, just leave me alone, he begged. The leader of the boys punched Naruto in the stomach, causing him to crouch in agony as all 3 of them began kicking him, causing him to go into fetal position. Ah, is the little baby going to cry? Do you want your mommy? Oh wait, that's right, freaks like you don't have mothers? Street at random, a 5-year-old girl with dark blue hair, fair porcelain skin, and pure white eyes with a hint of lavender, wearing a pure white kimono, and holding onto her mother's hand, who appeared to be an older version of the girl with longer hair, while gently massaging her swollen pregnant belly with her other hand. The girl was wearing a silver bracelet with a ruby set in the center. The young girl was quite anxious as she and her mother were strolling down the street toward the park. But what if the other children don't like me, mommy? She asked. It's all right, Hinata-chan, I'm sure the other children will like you. After all, you're one of the sweetest girls I know. Besides, you'll need to act like a big girl soon once your baby sister is born. Hinata said, can't I just stay with you and my baby sister? Hinata-chan, it's nice of you to stay with me and your baby sister, but you need friends your age. Besides, you want to be a ninja, right? Maybe you'll find some of them when you start the academy, and who knows, maybe you'll be on a team together. Hinata nodded, although she was still a little anxious about meeting new people. As they continued to stroll down the street, Hinata's mother grinned and said, that's my girl, now come on, I'm sure there are some nice people that would love to meet you. As her mother looked down at Hinata with a sorrowful expression on her face, recalling the night the 2 Kyuubi attacked, Hinata grasped her mother's hand for support. Rewind 5 years ago. As they attempted to tidy up the clan estate as much as they could, numerous Hyuga branch members who had not participated in the battle were picking up the shattered glass and broken furniture remnants. While waiting for the signal from those inside to determine whether the clan estate was structurally stable, the Hyuga matriarch and a number of branch member bodyguards were strolling around the outside, checking for any damage caused by the tremors of the two Kyuubi's fight. "It's okay. Go check on your families. I'll be fine by myself," the Hyuga matriarch reassured with a kind smile after noticing the anxious expressions on her bodyguards' faces and immediately understanding what was upsetting them. "But Mistress I said it's all right. I know each of you want to check on your loved ones after what just occurred. I'll be fine by myself, and don't worry about my husband. I'll deal with him when he returns from the council meeting." As they hurried to the branch estate to see how their loved ones were doing, her bodyguards bowed and said, "As you wish, milady, and thank you." She was in the garden at the back of the estate when she suddenly felt her unborn daughter kicking inside her. You seem a bit restless tonight, aren't you? What's wrong, Hinata-chan?" she asked, massaging her swollen belly. The Hyuga matriarch grinned at the retreating forms of her bodyguards and was happy that she had given them the opportunity to check on their loved ones. As if to indicate that she should follow it, a tiny ball of light appeared in front of the Hyuga matriarch and floated a few feet in front of her before turning back. The strange sphere seemed to be radiating a warm aura like on a warm summer day, and despite her initial hesitancy, the Hyuga matriarch felt no malice coming from it. Behind a few trees that were growing close to the small garden's edge, she followed the orb. The Hyuga matriarch was able to catch up to the orb when it paused between two groups of trees that were far into the small patch of forest. The orb changed into a stunning woman with pure white angelic wings that glowed on their own when she caught up to it. The angel was dressed in a white robe, with what appeared to be armor on top of the robe. A tiny red orb with a smaller pink one inside was in the woman's hand. The Hyuga matriarch was mesmerized by the angel's beauty, but she soon awoke and composed herself, saying, "I apologize, Tenchi-san. I didn't mean to be impolite and stare." The angel said in a soft, kind voice, "She seems quite energetic, doesn't she?" To whom are you referring to, Tenchi-san? "Oh, pardon me, let me introduce myself. My name is Layla, the Angel of the Sun, or simply Layla." "I referred to this little cutie right here," Layla said, gesturing to the Hyuga matriarch's protruding belly. "She has gotten a bit feisty just a few moments ago. It would seem that she might be reacting to my presence. I can sense she has a pure heart and soul, and a very strong will, much like you. Tell me, what is her name?" As she continued to rub her belly, a proud Hyuga matriarch declared, "I've decided to name her Hinata, my beautiful little sunshine." "Tell me, how did you know her gender before I could even tell you?" she asked. "Call it a woman's intuition," said Layla as they both giggled until she became serious. "But a more serious matter, I have come here to ask you a favor. As you know, just recently, the Kyuubi no Kitsune appeared attacking your village when his mate the Kyuubi no Mayobu came in the nick of time trying to stop her mate from causing utter destruction. However, that would not be the case. You see, the Kyuubi no Kitsune was being controlled, and in the end, he unintentionally made a lethal blow to both his mate and his unborn kit." Exclaims, "How awful! Who could anyone force another living creature to attack their own loved ones?" "My sentiments exactly. You see, your Yandaime, Minato Namikaze, had the intention to seal the Kyuubi no Kitsune into his own son using a forbidden method by you humans. We, however, interfered by orders of the Almighty. It would appear that the mastermind behind this incident tonight has much more evil intention than just destroying a simple village. This intention is still yet unclear to us, but what we do know is that this person tends to seek power that is well beyond his control, and forbidden even by the laws of heaven." "You said, is there another angel here?" Layla laughed when the Hyuga matriarch asked. "Yes, my beloved you, the angel of the moon, and my partner in heaven. However, he was also sealed inside Minato's son, as our orders by the Almighty, and I will be sealed inside a second container with the Kyuubi no Mayobu and her unborn child." "I see, so little Naruto-kun and another child will be the two containers for the two foxes and two angels. So what is it that you want from me, Layla-san? With your permission, I would like the second container to be little Hinata here." When Layla asked, the Hyuga matriarch was taken aback when Hinata gave her another powerful kick. "Do you want to do it, Hinata-chan?" she asked. The Hyuga matriarch smiled as Hinata responded to her question with another powerful kick. "I guess you really want to meet Naruto-kun, huh?" she asked, recalling her time with her teammate and friend Kushina, and how both women were thrilled to learn they were expecting and were already arranging play dates for when their children were born. "Very well, Layla-san, you have my permission to make my little Hinata-chan the second container," she said. When the Hyuga matriarch responded to the two women's faint sound, Layla grinned and said, "Thank you, from both of us." Layla looked directly into the Hyuga matriarch's eyes as the new voice emanated from the tiny orb in her hand. When Layla placed her free hand gently on the Hyuga matriarch's stomach, she received a slight nod in response to her unheard request. "Thank you very much, Hinata-chan. Please take good care of both of us," Layla said, withdrawing her hand, Shinigami. In a threatening voice, Layla said, "I have found our second container, and as agreed, once you sealed both me and the Kyuubi no Myobu, you will receive half our power, so long as you spare the soul that was sacrificed for this sealing ritual. Should you break your vow, your punishment will be dealt with by the Almighty personally, is that clear?" The Hyuga matriarch became alarmed when the air around the two women suddenly felt cold and a demonic image appeared behind Layla. "As you wish, Layla-sama, I will begin the process." The Hyuga matriarch's eyes widened when she saw the image of a stunning redhead. "Kushina-chan?" she asked. With a faintly dejected smile on her ghostly image of her friend sobbing, Kushina said, "I'm sorry, but it looks like I won't be able to see Hinata-chan and Naruto-kun grow up. I promise, I'll keep an eye on both of them. Rest peacefully, Kushina-chan. I'll do everything I can to help Naruto-kun. That is my promise of a lifetime to you." As Kushina and her friend made a hand gesture as though making a pinky vow, a bright light began to fill the tiny space. Final flashback: the Hyuga matriarch made every effort to persuade her husband to try adopting Naruto after the sealing process was complete, but her husband was too obstinate to agree, claiming that it would tarnish the Hyuga image in the eyes of the elders in him. She apparently chose to help the boy in secret by giving him food whenever she could and new clothes when his old ones were worn out, defying her husband's wishes. However, she will never forget the moment she gave him his first present, a tiny silver bracelet with a sapphire set in the center, and a small plush orange fox. He was so relieved that he began to cry with happiness that at least someone else was watching out for him, even though she gave it to him indirectly and he was unaware that it was from her. She recalled the day she had purchased his bracelet and plush fox. She had purchased two custom-made, matching silver bracelets, one with a sapphire in the center and the other with a ruby, and two plush foxes, one purple and the other orange, a few days after the cloud incident. In order to help Hinata relax, she chose to give her the purple fox while narrating to her that the bracelet was unique, that there would be another one just like it with a blue jewel, and that the owner of it would be the most significant person she would ever meet. She couldn't help but play matchmaker with Naruto and Hinata, despite the fact that they were both young. In the park, "What's wrong, crybaby? You too chicken to fight?" the three bullies asked Naruto as he lay on the ground in a fetal position. "No way, he's just going to cry again. Is that true, crybaby? Are you going to cry again?" One of the boys saw a gleaming silver chain on Naruto's left hand and exclaimed, "Hey, what's that?" Another boy remarked, "Looks expensive," after examining Naruto's silver bracelet. Naruto then hid his most valuable item in his other hand and held it near to his body. As the three boys attempted to pry Naruto's hand away, the leader of the group remarked, "Hey, well, I say it's mine now. So come on, loser, give it here." However, Naruto maintained a firm grip on his bracelet, the chain of which was beginning to dig into his skin each time the boys attempted to yank it away. From behind the three kids, a severe female voice said, "And just what do you think you children are doing to that poor boy?" After recognizing that he had just insulted the matriarch of the Hyuga clan, one of the wealthiest and most respected clans in the village, the three boys' leader exclaimed, "Hey, butt out, old lady. My dad's in the council so he can. Lady Hyuga. I'm sorry, I didn't mean," he said. When the parents of all three children showed up, the Hyuga matriarch interrupted, "You'd do well to know when to keep quiet, boy. Especially after I just caught you beating up a defenseless person. Is there something wrong, Lady Hyuga?" The three boys flinched. "Are our children bothering you?" The parents of the three boys' alleged leader, who is also a civilian council member, inquired. "Perhaps our boys would like to play with little Hinata-chan." "I'm afraid I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Your child seems to lack discipline, councilman, unless of course he always refers to other respected figures as old lady, as he so generously called me." The Hyuga matriarch said with a sickly sweet tone, I will never let my sweet Hinata-chan be associated with someone who shows lack of respect." After hearing her remark, the councilman went pale and began to consider how to leave the situation. "Well, you know boys, always roughhousing with one another," he said. "Really? I didn't know roughhousing involved one child being ganged up and beaten to a pulp." As Naruto slowly attempted to conceal himself inside his cloak, all three parents gazed at his battered body and said, "I'm sure that boy was the one who started this entire ruckus." The councilman's son said in a grating tone, and he has my bracelet. There, you see, he stole something that wasn't his, and my child had the right to get back his stolen bracelet. As soon as she handed Naruto the silver bracelet, the Hyuga matriarch recognized it and came up with a scheme. Tell me if that bracelet is your son's. When did you buy it for him, councilman? 3 days ago at the jewelry store several blocks from the Yamanaka flower shop. I gave it to my son as a special present. For what occasion, councilman? You invited us to your son's birthday 2 months ago, and he didn't have a bracelet on him. There's no holiday coming up, and he's still too young to enter the ninja academy, so what could it be? I can see where your son gets his manners, councilman. I saw Naruto-kun wearing that bracelet a week ago when he was sitting in the Hokage's office, and the Hokage also knows that Naruto-kun always wears his bracelet. He probably stole it. There's no way someone like him can afford something like that. Perhaps, but who's to say that someone didn't give it to him? Someone like the Hokage, or would you like to confirm it with me, councilman? Maybe you can explain to him why you lied to me, a member of the Hyuga clan, and attempted to steal someone else's possession. No, that's okay, Lady Hyuga. I'll just be on my way then, and I had some errands to run anyway, the councilman said, after becoming pale at her statement and deciding to just cut his losses. The parents hurriedly gathered their kids and departed from the park. As soon as they were out of sight, she hurried to see how Naruto was doing and noticed that he was trembling in terror. Please don't hurt me, I promise, I'll just go somewhere else, she said. When the Hyuga matriarch began to gently wipe Naruto's cheeks with a hanky she always carried and gave him a tender look, she interrupted his tirade by saying, Now why would I hurt such a handsome boy like you? I know you didn't do anything wrong, or that you stole that bracelet. Why don't you go play with my daughter? I'm sure she would like to be friends with you. The idea of having a friend for the first time makes Naruto's eyes widen. Since the woman in front of him didn't appear to despise him, he stood up and approached the girl, who appeared to be a miniature version of the woman who had saved him, saying, Hello, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Hello. My name is Hinata Hyuga. Hinata, it's a nice name. Thank you. Hinata blushed. Would you like to be my friend? A trembling Naruto asked, startling Hinata. Hinata remained silent because she was still in disbelief, but she soon regained consciousness when she noticed Naruto slowly retreated while wearing a distressed expression. With a genuine smile on her face, Hinata said, Wait, and gently pulled the back of Naruto's cloak, causing him to turn around. I'm sorry, it's just that no one has ever asked me to be their friend before. I would love to be your friend, Hinata said, making Naruto blush. What's this feeling I'm sensing? It's warm. Kushina-chan, Naruto-kun turned out to be a nice boy, Hinata's mother said, smiling gently as she watched Naruto and Hinata play together all day. From a distance, you should be proud of him. Who knows, perhaps they will wind up together like the two angels we both met. With both bracelets gleaming in the sunlight and their gems seemingly emitting an ethereal glow, the two kids proceeded to play together as they entered the sandbox. After 7 years, Naruto, who was 12 years old, entered his apartment and removed his bright neon orange jacket to reveal a simple black shirt. Man, today sucked as well. Then again, every day sucks with people calling me demon and monster all the time, Naruto said, sprawling on his bed after dropping his jacket on the floor. Naruto would constantly experience emotional or physical abuse from the villagers, which would leave him feeling hopeless and alone. Then again, I guess it wasn't so bad, Naruto said, glancing at his left hand and noticing his silver bracelet with a sapphire set in the center. It's always worth it to see her smile, Naruto thought contentedly. Rewind to 7 years ago after playing with his new friend, a 5-year-old Naruto was hiding a smile behind his cloak and makeshift hood as he made his way back to his apartment. When he realized the sun was almost down, he hurried to the apartment the third Hokage had given him, saying, I have to get home. Before they discover me, I must lock up. Naruto felt someone grab him from behind and drag him into a dark alley as he was running full speed toward his apartment. Naruto became dizzy after being slammed against a wall by his assailants, but it's not even night. I believed I had time. With a sizable crowd behind him, the councilman from earlier remarked, it took a while to find you, demon, but patience has its own rewards. So, tricking the Hyuga matriarch into playing with her daughter, a demon. Then again, that's to be expected from a demon like you, isn't that right everyone? As before, the mob began to mutter in agreement, and Naruto could sense that they were determined to harm him. Please J. Just let meg. Go, Naruto whimpered. Humphrey, and let you leave before teaching you your lesson? I don't think so. laughed the mayor. Gentlemen, see to it that he learns his lesson about humiliating others, and for tricking other people. As the crowd applauded, they immediately began punching Naruto and snatching up anything in the area to use as a weapon. The villagers used their fists, broken glass, stones, and any other weapon they could find or bring to jab, punch, and slam Naruto as he screamed in agony. Please, someone, anyone, please help me, Naruto thought as he began to recall all of his beatings because he could recall, I don't want to die. Not like this. Memories of even worse beatings began to flash before his eyes, with the villagers whispering behind his back. He could still hear their insults, which made him cry even more. No one will miss me, no one will care about me. Though Naruto was in more pain, he thought, I feel sot, tired. I don't even know who my parents are. I don't even know if they love me. As Naruto began to lose consciousness, he thought, I just wish that I wanted to feel happy, just once, even if it was for one day, just once, my heart feels like it's about to explode, he said, his vision turning red from the blood oozing from his forehead and one of his eyes beginning to swell close. Naruto.kun. When Naruto began to hear Hinata's voice in his mind, his eyes widened as much as they could. Rewind to earlier, is it okay if I call you, Naruto.kun? Gazing into Hinata's white, lavender eyes, Naruto was struck by how much they resembled the moon. Yeah, is it okay if I call you, Hinata-chan? Hinata's mother called her as the sun was beginning to set, indicating that it was time to head home. Naruto blushed at what he saw when Hinata timidly nodded and gave him a tiny smile. Naruto.kun, would you like to meet Hinata-chan tomorrow and play with her again? Hinata's mother asked as she approached the two kids. The Hyuga matriarch, with stars in her eyes, said, well then, I guess we'll see you tomorrow then Naruto.kun, it's a promise. Oh, and one other thing Naruto.kun, can you call me, Auntie? When Naruto blushed in embarrassment and nodded shyly. Get home safely Naruto.kun, the Hyuga matriarch said as she and Hinata began to walk back to the Hyuga compound. Final flashback. Yes, I did promise Auntie and Hinata-chan. I must fulfill the promise I made. Now that I've made a friend at last, I have one. It hurts, my body hurts, but, I can still see her smile. Hinata-chan's smile, Naruto would say as the villagers continued to punch and cut him. Final flashback. Yes, I do remember that day. Her smile was the only thing that kept me going, and I remembered it. If the old man hadn't arrived when he did, they would have also taken my bracelet. I promised to do my best to keep her safe. As Naruto gazed out the window into the night sky, he thought, Auntie, you were missed, and so is Hinata-chan. I'm stuck pretending to like some pink-haired banshee who's obsessed with some duck-haired, emo bastard, even though I can't believe how beautiful she's gotten. There's no point in acting, but perhaps one day I could reciprocate Hinata-chan's feelings if I had been born into a wealthy family. Sorry Tsuki-chan, I was just daydreaming again. You're hungry, right girl? Naruto said, his thoughts cut short by a tiny squeal and something climbing on top of his back. A light blue fox. Like creature with rabbit. Like ears, dark blue tips on its tail, ears, and paws. A diamond. Shaped sapphire forehead mark, and midnight. Blue eyes that gleamed in the moonlight confronted Naruto as he flipped over in his bed. Do you want to go to Ichiraku's ramen? The small fox. Like creature asked, wagging her tail and squealing joyfully as she stood on her hind legs. I'm sure Ayame Ni-chan would like the visit, Naruto said, putting Tsuki inside his jacket the way he had seen Kiba do with his dog Akamaru. The fox. Like creature joyfully squealed once more as Naruto picked up his jacket from the floor and zipped it all the way up, making room for his tiny furry friend. The Hyuga compound supporting the bruises from her fight with Hanabi, which her father would make her endure, Hinata went into her room. When Hinata heard a soft knock on her door, she hobbled to her bed and lay down gently on it. When Hinata said, come in, a tiny crack in the door opened, revealing a young girl with long brown hair, lavender-hued white eyes, and an armless blue versus neck shirt and blue shorts. Oh. Wanichan, said the young girl, with a dejected and apologetic expression. Hanabi-chan, what's wrong? After entering her sister's room slowly, Hanabi broke down in tears and rushed to embrace her. Oh. Wanichan, I don't want to hic. Spar anymore. I just hic. Keep hurting you because hic. Father makes us, Hanabi exclaimed. Hanabi-chan, it's alright. I don't mind the spars as long you're safe, Hinata said, stroking her sister's hair tenderly as she sobbed and hiccuped. Wanichan, Then why don't you just win once? I know you're strong, and I know you can easily beat me, so why won't you just win once so father can stop hitting you? Murmured Hanabi. Because Hanabi-chan, I care too much about you, and if I do win, I'm scared father would start hitting you. I would gladly receive all his punishments just as long as you are safe, Hinata said with a motherly voice. Wanichan, Hanabi was interrupted when Hinata's closet door opened and a bundle of clothes emerged, with something moving underneath them. Both girls heard a slight shuffling sound. When a tiny blue, white wolf-like cub with a white underbelly, white-tipped paws, and a white circle mark on the forehead with sky-blue eyes emerged, both girls heard whimpering sounds. Tayo-kun, you scared us, Hanabi said, wiping away her tears. Hinata said, Hanabi-chan, do you think you can get some dinner for him please? Tayo-kun, you silly little thing, you must be hungry. Hanabi nodded and hurried to the kitchen to get some food for the cub that looked like a wolf. It's alright Tayo-kun, it doesn't hurt as much, you just wait until Auntie Hanabi comes back with dinner okay? Hinata said as the wolf-like cub leapt on top of the bed and stood on his hind legs while resting his two front paws on her arm as though to inquire about her well-being. As Hinata recalled how Tayo had suddenly appeared in her life out of the blue, her pet made an affirmative yipping noise and she began to gently stroke his forehead. Rewind to 7 years ago. Hinata-chan, are you dressed yet? We have to go soon, called Hinata's mother as she woke up, thrilled that she had made her first friend yesterday and would see him again later. I'm nearly ready mommy. After finishing her dressing, Hinata heard a shuffle coming from beneath her bed, which startled her. She screamed in fear as she saw two sky-blue eyes emerge beneath her bed. Hinata-chan, what is it? A frantic Hyuga matriarch asked, slamming the door open and preparing to fight off any intruders with a few branch member bodyguards. When one of the Hyuga bodyguards saw the two eyes and activated his Byakugan, Hinata pointed beneath her bed, trembling in terror. Hello, what have we here? It looks like some kind of animal, said the branch member, reaching beneath the bed as the room erupted in yelping noises. The branch member then pulled out what appeared to be a wolf cub, but with an odd blue, white-colored fur. As the branch member held the cub by the scruff of its neck and remarked, I've never seen a wolf or dog with this type of color before, the cub began to make more yelping sounds. The Hyuga matriarch gently grabbed the wolf cub and said, You're hurting the poor thing. You have to hold him gently, aren't you just the cutest thing? She said in a maternal tone as the wolf cub licked her nose, making the Hyuga matriarch laugh at the tickle. Hinata-chan, come say hello, he looks friendly, she said. As her mother held out the wolf cub, Hinata approached her with trepidation. When the cub licked her hand as Hinata was slowly reaching to pet it, she yelled in shock and fell back, saying, Calm down Hinata-chan, he was just saying hi in his own way. As the cub closed his eyes contentedly, Hinata slowly extended her hand once more to pet him and gave him a gentle forehead stroke. See, he likes you, she said. A harsh voice from the doorway questioned, What is it with all this commotion so early in the morning? All eyes turned to the doorway, where Hiashi Hyuga, the leader of the Hyuga clan, was visible. As Hinata continued to caress the wolf cub, the Hyuga matriarch said, Oh, good morning dear, it looks like we had a little visitor during the night. As he began to move down the hall, Hiashi commanded, Guards dispose of that creature. The Hyuga matriarch exclaimed, Hiashi, he's just a baby, he can't properly fend for himself. That thing is nothing more than a disease-ridden animal that needs to be taken care of. It also means that we need tighter security if a small furry abomination was able to slip past our guards. Let's be grateful it wasn't an enemy ninja, Hiashi said. The Hyuga matriarch put the wolf cub in her daughter's lap and asked, Just an animal, you say, are you that cold-hearted that you would easily forsake a poor living soul? Is it because it would tarnish the Hyuga image, like you and the elders so wholeheartedly agree on? She asked, glaring at her husband, who stopped in his tracks. The Hyuga matriarch conveyed her secret message by saying, He's scared and alone with no one to rely on. He's defenseless and vulnerable, and even if he were an animal, he wouldn't hurt a single soul. You've changed from the Hiashi Hyuga I once knew dear. Do as you wish, but my decision still stands. Hiashi simply stood motionless at the end of the hallway. Hinata was unaware of what was happening, but suddenly, as if they had committed a crime, all of the guards had a dejected expression on their faces and said, You are all dismissed, I'll be taking my daughter to the park now. Do we really have to give him away mommy? Asked Hinata as the mother and daughter walked down the street toward the park while the bodyguards bowed in respect and departed. The Hyuga matriarch smiled like her daughter and nodded her head in agreement, saying, Tell you what, Hinata-chan, Why don't we keep him a secret from your father? Maybe Naruto-kun can help you raise him, and keep him at his house so you can properly train him. In the park, when mother and daughter arrived at the park, they saw many kids playing, but they were unable to locate Naruto. I don't see Naruto-kun anywhere, said a dejected Hinata. I'm sure he's here somewhere, Hinata-chan, don't worry. When Hinata and her mother searched the entire park and were unable to locate Naruto, Hinata became even more depressed because she believed she had lost her first friend. Naruto's voice came from behind them, saying, Hinata-chan, auntie, I made it. I kept my page promise. They were both shocked to see Naruto wearing an orange shirt and black shorts, with most of his arms, neck, and forehead bandaged, and some going diagonally over one of his eyes. Naruto-kun, W. What happened T.TOU? Are you okay? A panicked Hinata stammered at the sight of her new friend, while the Hokage stood beside Naruto to ensure he could stand alone. The elderly Hokage said, he insisted on coming, and was about to leave the hospital, saying that he had to keep his promise to his new friend and his auntie. I presume he means you, Lady Hyuga. The Hyuga matriarch responded with a nervous laugh and a big drop of perspiration, but they were cut off by a tiny squeaking sound. A blue fox-like creature caught everyone's attention as they turned to look behind Naruto and the Hokage. Hey, it's that little fox that I found in my hospital room, Naruto said. As the fox and wolf stood facing each other, sniffing until their noses met, the wolf cub in Hinata's arms leapt down and approached the fox, and the two animals began playing together. It seems that Hinata-chan's new friend also likes Naruto-kun's new friend. Hinata-chan, Naruto-kun, go play with your new friends, but not too rough, okay? As the two kids sat down in a soft patch of grass to play with their new furry friends, Naruto said in a happy voice, okay, we will, auntie. Final flashback, mom even gave them the names of the sun and moon, Taiyo and Tasuki. Hinata thought, it's strange that Taiyo-kun hasn't grown over the past 7 years, but then again, I wouldn't be able to keep him hidden in my room if he did. Mom always liked to use strange names, but that's what made her special. When Hinata heard Hanabi gently knocking on her door, she continued to stroke Taiyo's forehead. It's a good thing, Naruto-kun, and I taught you how to be quiet, otherwise father would have thrown you out on the street or worse. It's a shame Naruto-kun's landlord couldn't let him keep 2 pets, Hinata said as Hanabi placed the tray on her sister's lap. Hanabi had just brought a tray of cooked steak, which caused Taiyo to wag his tail in excitement, but he made no sound. Manners, Taiyo-kun, I taught you better than that. Just what would Tasuki-chan think if she saw you act like this? Hinata said, resembling a mother reprimanding a child, causing Taiyo to whimper in remorse as he ate his dinner at a normal pace. Taiyo was about to leap and devour his food when Hinata gently flicked his nose. Hanabi said, Wanichan makes a good mommy, which caused Hinata to flush. That's N. Not T. True. The thought of Hinata and Naruto together made her blush even more. Yes, Wanichan and Onichan help take care of me. So Wanichan and Onichan are like my mommy and daddy, Hanabi said. Hinata's mother passed away a few days after giving birth to Hanabi, and her father became more strict with her and her training, constantly disappointed in her for various reasons. Despite this, Hinata found time to assist in caring for her sister, and she even introduced Hanabi to Naruto. The two became close so quickly that, when Hinata and Naruto weren't training for the academy, the three would always meet at the park. Wanichan, do you think Onichan and Tasuki-chan are doing okay? Both girls burst out laughing when Hinata said, if I know Naruto-kun, he's probably at Ichiraku's ramen right now with Ayame-chan hugging Tasuki-chan. Ramen Ichiraku, Naruto pleaded with Ayame, come on, just one more ramen please? Ayame Ichiraku put a salad bowl in front of him and reprimanded him, saying, no way, you've already had 3 bowls, and a growing boy needs to eat healthy, so you're eating your salad, young man, and that's final. While doing some dishwashing, Tuchi Ichiraku told his daughter, if I didn't know any better, Ayame, I would say you're his mother. Ayame was startled by her dad's assertion but quickly calmness, it's not like that, besides we promised Lady Hyuga that we would take care of Naruto in her place if something happened to her. After all, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even have our little ramen stand right now, and besides, that woman was a saint compared to the other pompous nobles and rich clans. True, she did quite have a ramen craving when she was pregnant with Hinata and Hanabi. I suppose I should also be thankful for bringing me my #1 customer as well, Tuchi said while patting Naruto's head. Yeah, I really liked Auntie, and I'm thankful that she introduced me to both Ayame. Nichan, old man Tuchi, laughed Naruto. Even though he didn't want to, Naruto discreetly kept eating his salad because he knew Ayame meant well, while Tasuki simply kept eating her bowl of sliced meat. So Naruto.kun, how are your studies? Sighing, bad, I still can't get the clone jutsu down. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, Naruto replied. Tucci said, Naruto, don't worry, you'll get it in time. As Tasuki finished her bowl and licked Ayame's cheek to express her gratitude, Naruto called out to her, thanks, it means a lot hearing that from you guys, but I guess I should be going now. It's getting late, and I have to wake up early. Let's go Tasuki. Chan. Well, you're welcome Tasuki. Chan. You're just so cute, Ayame said, petting Suki's forehead. The apartment of Naruto. I swear Tasuki. Chan, you're just as hyper as Tayo. Good night Tasuki. Chan, sweet dreams, Naruto said as he hurriedly changed into his pajamas and went to bed, with Tasuki hiding beneath the covers and climbing onto Naruto's chest. The Hyuga compound taking care of Hinata's wounds, Hanabi assisted her in putting on her pajamas. After Hinata changed, Hanabi went to her room and said, no more honey ham for you Tayo.kun, it's making you too hyper. Hinata then got into bed with Tayo running around beneath the covers. Good night Tayo.kun, I'll take you with me to the academy tomorrow so you can get some exercise. Naruto.kun will bring Tasuki. Chan to keep you company, so be on your best behavior okay? Hinata said, grabbing Tayo and tucking him in beside her. As they both fell asleep, Tayo yipped softly. The following day, knowing full well that Tayo had once again hidden in the closet in case her father or anybody else entered her room, Hinata woke up to the sound of her alarm clock and discovered her bed empty. She questioned how she and Naruto had this incredible ability because her wounds had also healed up quickly. Hinata was still baffled as to how Tayo managed to conceal himself even from the Byakugan, given that Tasuki possessed the same skill. While Naruto was practicing his clone jutsu on one of her days off from school, she recalled that she and Hanabi were looking after Tasuki for the day. He didn't want anything to happen to Tasuki. When Tayo and Tasuki were playing together in her room, they unintentionally knocked over her lamp, which allowed their father to enter. When Hanabi interrupted, Hinata attempted to clarify what had happened, claiming that she was rehearsing how to set up a trap and that she was correcting her error when she struck the lamp by accident. When Hiashi activated his Byakugan, he stood there looking blank, which made Hinata and Hanabi fear that he had discovered Tayo and Tasuki hiding in her closet after he had knocked down the lamp. When Hiashi turned off his Byakugan and said that Hanabi should practice her jutsu outside rather than indoors, he continued to glance around. Though they were perplexed as to how their father was unable to see Tayo and Tasuki, both girls saw it as a blessing. Hinata hurriedly checked the hallways to make sure everything was okay before sneaking into the bathroom with Tayo in her arms and a towel over him in case she ran into someone she didn't expect. While washing Tayo, Hinata joyfully wore a bathing suit and said, okay, Tayo.kun, it's time for our bath. I want you nice and clean for today. A few minutes later when she took Tayo out of the bath, his fur would always stick out, which made Hinata laugh. She quickly dried him off. I wonder if Naruto.kun will ever look at me like he does with Sakura.san, Hinata said as she began getting dressed while examining herself in the mirror. I want to tell him how I really feel, but why can't I? A frustrated Hinata thought. Even though Hinata was aware that Naruto would occasionally be harmed by the villagers, she still found it painful to watch her best friend suffer, so she and Hanabi would attempt to visit him without their father's knowledge. After they both joined the academy, Hinata began to feel something for Naruto, and she always admired his perseverance in spite of everything the villagers said about him. If only I were strong enough to tell him I love him, Hinata said of Naruto, who she saw as a kind, compassionate, and sweet person. Naruto.kun, I want to be there for you. You always wear a fake smile, and I don't want to see that. I want to see your genuine smile. The one I saw when we first met, the one that always makes me feel content and warm inside. I've always wanted to tell you that I love you, Naruto.kun. Hinata wore a baggy beige jacket over her black shirt and dark blue pants. She went to breakfast with her father and sister, and as usual, there was an awkward silence during the meal. The two sisters smuggled some bacon they had left for Tayo into Hinata's lunch as they swiftly finished their breakfast and picked up their plates. Silently putting Tayo in her backpack, Hinata hurried back to her room to gather her belongings. With haste, Hinata and Hanabi said goodbye to their father and left for the academy. Hinata swiftly turned into an alley and led Tayo out to get some exercise after the girls had moved a fair distance away. As Hinata hand-fed him the bacon she and Hanabi had saved especially for him, Tayo stretched each limb. After finishing his breakfast, Tayo licked Hinata's hand as a token of appreciation, which made Hinata laugh at the tickle. Tayo strolled beside Hinata, taking in the sunlight as they headed back towards the academy with Hanabi. The apartment of Naruto got up early, putting Tasuki by his side, and headed to the bathroom for a quick shower when he had an epiphany. Tasuki was just beginning to stretch her limbs when Naruto returned to his bedroom. "Sorry, didn't mean to wake up Tasuki." "Chan," Naruto said, petting Tasuki. As Naruto continued to pet her, Tasuki simply squeaked with delight. "Come on, it's time for a bath. You don't want to be dirty when we meet Taiyo and Hinata, Chan, right?" Naruto said. As Naruto carried Tasuki into the bathroom, she merely squeaked. Naruto and Tasuki took a bath together while sporting swimming trunks. It felt strange to bathe Tasuki naked every time, despite the fact that Tasuki was not human. On busy days, he would typically take a bath with her wearing swimming trunks, but usually he would do it after returning from the academy. A few minutes later, "I swear Tasuki, Chan, you look so silly whenever you come out of the shower," chuckled Naruto as he emerged from the shower, drying Tasuki and attempting to straighten her fur. The fox-like creature squealed angrily at him. "All right, I get it, I'm sorry, but you know it's true." "Geez, I swear," Naruto said as he hurriedly put on his bright neon orange jumpsuit over his typical black shirt. "After one of my pranks, I get good practice at avoiding and being stealthy with those Anbu, especially with something this bright. I like orange, but not this much on me because of those awful store clerks." Naruto sighed, looking at Tasuki as the small fox-like creature wagged her tail. Another day, another boring lecture at the academy. Not to mention that loud-mouthed banshee and the duck-haired emo. Although Ino is more tolerable than the banshee, at least she's kind of nice to me and knows when to stop. Naruto looked at Tasuki. "Oh well, maybe some other time. Come on Tasuki. Chan, old man Tucci said he was making us waffles this morning, and I'm not missing out," Naruto exclaimed with joy. Iruka Amino, Naruto's father figure and academy instructor, would encourage him to try some of the things Tucci makes, and if he finished them all, he would treat him to ramen again. This is despite the fact that Tucci owns a ramen stand, but he always forces Naruto to try things other than ramen. Ramen Ichiraku Tasuki was eating a tiny piece of the waffle while Naruto was contentedly eating his. "Are you sure it's okay for her to be eating human food, Naruto-kun? I mean, I can understand meat as long as it's organic, but waffles?" she asked. "It's okay Ayame. Ni-chan, Tasuki. Chan has eaten plenty of human food before and she's perfectly healthy. Besides, I'm the one who should be paying you for making you cook stuff outside the menu." "Nonsense, you're family, and family always supports each other. It doesn't matter what anyone or a little piece of paper says, as long as your heart is there with people you care about, then that is where your home and family truly are," Tucci replied. When Tucci was younger, he made numerous attempts to adopt Naruto, but each time the orphanages raised the cost of adoption paperwork when Tucci brought up Naruto's name, or the Hokage's secretary interfered in any way with his meeting with the Hokage to obtain adoption paperwork. Tucci even attempted to seek support from the Hyuga matriarch, but he didn't want to put her through the hardship as her health began to deteriorate in the latter stages of her pregnancy. Tucci ultimately made the decision to help Naruto in any way he could, which included providing him with a good meal, a bed for him and Tasuki, and a small house in case Naruto had to miss training. "Her eating human food still worries me," Ayame said. Naruto complained, "I brought home some of your birthday cake last year, and I never even got one bite, let alone that piece of strawberry shortcake I bought last month." "I told you Ayame. Ni-chan, Tasuki is used to eating human food. In fact, she won't even touch any kind of dog food or raw meat. She'll eat any kind of human food, and the same goes for Taiyo. If you ask me, I think she's hooked on sweets," Naruto complained, only to be startled and fall off his stool after being tail whipped in the forehead. Tasuki squeaked in agreement as Ayame giggled, "Let that be a lesson to you Naruto-kun, never come between a woman and her sweets." Naruto complained, "You still could have saved me some." Street at random some were fascinated by Suki's unusual appearance because Naruto always carried Tasuki in his jacket in case the villagers decided to attack, but he sensed that she would like to stretch her legs today. Naruto was walking down the street near the forest with Tasuki walking beside him while the villagers glared at him in hatred and whispered that he was a demon and that Tasuki was just one of his servants. Tasuki abruptly stopped and stared into the forest's tree line as Naruto and he continued to walk along the path. When Naruto saw Tasuki gazing into the forest, he halted his progress, wondering why the character had suddenly stopped. "What is it Tasuki? Chan, do you hear something?" he asked. Knowing that something was amiss if Tasuki just started running, Naruto chased after her as she hurried into the forest. "Man, I didn't know Tasuki Chan could run this fast, and I'm having a hard time just keeping up and I have pretty good stamina," said Naruto as Tasuki continued to run, struggling to keep up with her. In the woods, after following Tasuki for a few minutes, Naruto and Tasuki came upon a clearing with trees that let light in, creating multiple columns of light. A fresh breeze blew through a number of wildflowers, encircling a large, wide tree in the middle of the clearing. Naruto remarked, "Wow, this place is kind of peaceful." Naruto was right behind Tasuki as he ran to the side of the big tree in the middle. "It's actually kind of roomy in here," Naruto remarked as he peered inside what appeared to be a hollow entrance where the tree trunk and roots met. "Hey, what's this?" asked Naruto, glancing down at the spotless white egg that had been laid on the dirt floor. Tasuki walked carefully up to the egg and sniffed it to make sure it was safe. "What's wrong, Tasuki-chan? Is something wrong with the egg?" Tasuki asked Naruto after she finished sniffing it, as though she was trying to communicate with him. When Tasuki realized that some of his chakra was being absorbed into the egg, turning it from white to a light sky blue, he simply squealed in response, and Naruto knelt down and carefully lifted the egg, saying, "Well, that's weird. I guess that rules out a bird's egg." Returning to the village, Taiyo-kun. "What's wrong?" Taiyo began growling without explanation as Hinata, Hanabi, and Taiyo were making their way down the street toward the academy. "Hey Hinata." A boy in a gray hooded sweater with black fur linings, standard dark blue pants, a shuriken holder fastened to his right thigh, and standard ninja sandals were seen by Hinata and Hanabi as they turned to face the voice. The voice belonged to Kiba Inuzuka, the heir to the Inuzuka clan, a tracking, focused clan with untamed features and inverted red triangle markings on their cheeks. Each member of the clan had a dog partner. Although Hinata was aware that Kiba had a crush on her, Taiyo had saved her from his unwanted advances on her on multiple occasions by diverting his attention while she was leaving. Even after Hinata politely turned Kiba down numerous times, he continued to pursue her. Kiba tried to sound cool by saying, "Hinata, it's been a while." A nervous Hinata said, We saw each other yesterday, Kiba-san," oblivious to Taiyo's stealthy movements around Kiba. "Hey Hinata, how about after class She's not interested, you horny mutt. Besides, she already said she doesn't like you, idiot," replied Hanabi. "Wham! Ow. Why you little brat, Kiba said, hanging onto the leg where Hanabi had kicked him while hopping on the other. "Chomp you again. This time we're ready for you. Get him, Akamaru," exclaimed Kiba as Taiyo saw Hanabi and Hinata running toward the academy and managed to tear off a portion of Kiba's pants where he bit him before he fled. "How does that mangy stray mutt always know where I am? And why does he only attack me when I'm with Hinata? I know for sure Hinata doesn't have any pets, and that little brat is becoming a nuisance even if she is Hinata's little sister," Kiba said as a white puppy with black ears emerged from his coat and was ready to attack Taiyo. However, both of them realized that he had escaped. After rubbing his butt where Taiyo had bitten him, Kiba straightened up. "Come on, Akamaru. Let's see if we can get a seat next to her," Kiba said, picking Akamaru up as he heard a few villagers laughing behind his back. "What are they laughing about? Oh well, who cares, when did it get breezy out here?" In the academy, after running all the way to the academy, Hinata panted, "Thank you Hanabi-chan. You really saved me back there." "Anything for my mommy?" Hinata asked, blushing in response to Hanabi's remark. Hinata stammered, "Hanabi-chan, I've told you I'm your sister, not your mother. Even so, you've been like a mother to me, so that's why I've decided I'll call you my mommy and Onichan my daddy when it's just the three of us. After all, you did practically raise me," laughed Hanabi, making Hinata blush further. But Naruto-kun and I need to be married to be your mommy and daddy, and besides, why? You'll be an aunt if we do have circa children," hesitated Hinata. Mimicking Naruto's sly smile, Hanabi said, "Then I hope that daddy proposes to mommy soon. That way, we can all be happy together." She turned to face the academy entrance and muttered, "Just like a real family should," as a single tear fell from one of her eyes. Hinata whispered, "Hanabi-chan," to shield Hanabi from Hiashi's anger, even though she was well aware that Hiashi had always mistreated her. Hinata was aware that the only time Hanabi ever felt like a true little girl was when she was with Naruto and Hiashi, who was always aloof and lifeless toward both girls and focused solely on strengthening the clan. In order to prevent Hinata from getting hurt anymore, Hinata was also aware that Hanabi would weep at night and beg Hiashi to stop forcing her to spar with her. "Don't worry Hanabi-chan. You can always cry in front of me. You don't have to hide your pain. I'll always be here whenever you call for me," Hinata said in a motherly whisper as she approached Hanabi and gave her a back hug. After hearing Hinata's words, Hanabi couldn't contain her tears, and the two sisters embraced while Hanabi released all of her repressed anger and Hinata comforted her by stroking her hair. Hinata-chan, Hanabi-chan, is everything alright? Naruto's voice caused Hinata and Hanabi to release their hold on one another. As both girls turned to face the academy's gate, they saw Naruto sprinting in their direction, Tasuki following closely behind, and holding what appeared to be an egg. What is it, Hanabi-chan? Is someone picking on you? Are you hurt? Naruto thought as he swiftly knelt down after carefully setting the egg down and turned to face Hanabi. D.Hic. Daddy, Hanabi uttered as she gazed at Naruto through teary eyes. When Hanabi said, Hanabi-chan, I'm not really why. Your dad. You already have a dad. Naruto blushed and Hanabi clung to him, sobbing in his chest. With Naruto aware that she was referring to Hinata, Hanabi exclaimed, He's not .hic.my dad, a.hic.dad w. Wouldn't make me .hic. Hurt em. Mommy. There, Munchkin. I promise I'll keep an eye on Hinata-chan. At the first sign of trouble I'll protect her, okay? Good girl. Now don't get so worked up or you'll stay with those hiccups for a while, Naruto said, massaging Hanabi's head as she nodded and wiped away her tears. Naruto-kun, we still have some time before the academy starts. Why don't we go over by the swing set and let Hanabi rest for a while until she calms down? Replied Hinata. With Hinata picking up the egg he placed down, Naruto picked up Hanabi like a father and said, Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Come on, Munchkin. Where did you find this egg, Naruto-kun? Tasuki-chan found it in a small clearing just outside the village. It's weird though, when I found it the egg was white, but when I touched it, it turned blue. Naruto remarked, Okay, things just got weirder, as Hinata was staring at the egg when she noticed some red chakra leaking from her hands, turning it from blue to light purple. I know, I think it took some chakra from me as well, but it was red. Chakra is usually blue when I see it. Naruto and Hinata headed towards the swing set at the academy's side, with Tasuki and Taiyo trailing closely behind. Naruto said, We'll think about it later. Right now, Hanabi-chan is more important. The swing set sitting on the ground beneath the swing set's tree were Naruto and Hinata. While Tasuki and Taiyo were sleeping with the light purple egg between their tails, Hanabi was lying on Hinata's lap, and Hinata was caressing her hair. She's finally clammed down, thank goodness. She really is a special little girl. It's a shame your father can't see that, said Naruto as he gazed at Hanabi's serene. What about you though? Are you alright? I know your father doesn't pull any punches just because you're his daughter. After all the terrible experiences her father had put her and Hanabi through, Hinata said, almost crying, I'm okay. Naruto-kun. I always find my wounds healed the next morning just like you, but still, I wish that. Naruto took out a handkerchief and began wiping away Hinata's tears, saying, Don't cry, Hinata-chan. I don't like to see you cry. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. Don't be. You're strong, Hinata-chan. Stronger than anyone I know, and I know you would never do anything to hurt Hanabi-chan. If it was a light spar with no chakra in your strikes, then I know for sure you would win, but your dad forces you to do this, so it's not your fault, said Naruto while wiping away some of Hinata's. As Hinata grinned and Naruto blushed at the sight before him, she said, Thank you, Naruto-kun. The academy bell has been ringing distantly for a number of minutes. After a disastrous attempt to wake Hanabi, Naruto and Hinata said, It's no use, she's knocked out. It'll be a while before she wakes up. I don't mind keeping you company, Naruto said with a smile, and Hinata smiled back, her cheeks slightly flushed. So, mommy. Hinata's blush deepens when Naruto asks, Well us.c Hanabi-chan s. Said T. That since you and I practically are. Raised her, she sees us as her page parents. Laugh. Well, I can definitely see you as a mother. You make a pretty good father too. You handle Hanabi-chan pretty well, Hinata said, blushing at Naruto's compliment while glancing down at Hanabi's sleeping face. You know, Hinata-chan, you can always come to me if you ever need anything. I wouldn't mind at all, Naruto said, embarrassed and scratching his cheek. Really, you think so? I just do what comes naturally. Thank you, Naruto-kun. Iruka Amino's voice said, So this is where you two have been hiding. I thought it was weird that Hinata would be absent with you, Naruto, said Iruka, a Chunin instructor with long brown hair tied in a pineapple style like Shikamaru, a scar across his face, and a black shirt underneath his Chunin vest. Scratching the back of his head, Naruto laughed nervously and said, Sorry, Iruka. Sensei. Hanabi-chan just had a rough morning. I see, Why don't you take her to the nurse's office so she can rest there? After that, come straight to class, okay? As Iruka began to return to the academy, Hinata said courteously, yes, thank you, Iruka, sensei. With a drowsy voice, Hanabi questioned, where am I? Well, it looks like Sleeping Beauty finally awakens. Daddy? Naruto exclaimed. Hanabi. Chan, I'm not, Daddy, as his perspiration began to fall. Hanabi. Chan, the bell rang a while back. Come on, you need to get to class before you become more late, replied Hinata. I'm sorry. Naruto rubbed Hanabi's head once more and said, it's okay, Hanabi. Chan. Just try not to push yourself too much, okay? Naruto then handed Hanabi the egg and said, tell you what, why don't you take care of this egg for me? That way, when it hatches, you can be its mommy. With Hinata and Naruto blushing, Hanabi grinned and said, but, you're its father and Wanichan is its mother. I'll be its aunt. Naruto thought, I swear she does this on purpose. Carefully carrying the egg, Hinata and Naruto walked Hanabi to her class. Do you think it was a good idea to leave a mysterious egg with her? Asked Taiyo and Tasuki as they walked towards their class. Naruto scratched his cheek and said, don't worry, Hinata. Chan. I can't explain it, but I have this gut feeling that it isn't dangerous. I don't know why, I just can't seem to explain it. Then I guess I'll trust you on that, Naruto-kun. After all, your gut feelings have never been wrong so far, laughed Hinata. When they got to their class, Iruka stopped lecturing and said, well, good to see you finally joined us. He was standing next to his assistant, Mizuki, who was also Chunin, had short silver hair, wore an outfit similar to Iruka's, and was wearing a bandana with the leaf symbol on it. Sorry you two, but no pets allowed, Mizuki said, glancing at Tasuki and Taiyo as Naruto and Hinata entered the classroom, causing the majority of the girls to stare and whisper about how adorable they were. Naruto complained, what about Akamaru? He's a pet. Akamaru is my partner, not a pet, you idiot, exclaimed Kiba. Gazing at Tasuki and Taiyo, Akamaru protruded his head from Kiba's sweater. With hearts in his eyes, Akamaru leapt from Kiba's jacket and made his way to Tasuki. With a graceful spin in midair, Tasuki swiftly leapt over Akamaru and landed on her feet. When Taiyo tackled him to the ground and stood between him and Tasuki, snarling at Akamaru, he looked behind him, where Tasuki landed. It's the mange mutt from before, how'd he get in here? Taiyo-kun is my friend, he's always been there for me, claimed Hinata, who was offended by Kiba's shocking statement. Call off your stupid mutt, Kiba, I don't like the way he's looking at Tasuki, Chan. Why should I? That thing should be honored to be courted by an Inuzuka dog. Naruto picked up Tasuki and said, just so you know, she's a vixen, and I also thought Akamaru liked another dog. As if it were the most obvious thing, Kiba said, so what if he does, doesn't mean he can't have more than one. TCH. You're a disgrace, Kiba. Foxes mate for life just like wolves. Maybe your stupid mutt can learn a thing or two from them. Please, only a loser like you would understand nothing about canines. How is that thing even a fox? It's not even the right color. Besides, you'll see, she'll be Akamaru's. Enough. Kiba. Language, interrupting Iruka and Naruto, we've been over this before. Akamaru is registered as a ninja dog. Tasuki and Taiyo are not, so they are classified as pets and they must wait outside. I'm sorry, Iruka replied. Come on, Iruka. Sensei, just this once. You know Tasuki, Chan will be on her best behavior. Everyone stared at Kiba in shock as he asked, before, you tried to bring those things in here before? What? You mean to tell me that you've never noticed it before? Iruka said, squeezing his nose in exasperation. Kiba. Tasuki has been with Naruto since the academy's founding, just like Taiyo has been with Hinata. A defeated Kiba said, well, no, which made everyone laugh. Honestly, you and Naruto really need to work on your concentration, Iruka sighed. Both boys screamed, don't compare me to him. Iruka sighed and stroked Suki's fur, saying, moving on. Rules are rule, Naruto, my hands are tied. Sorry little Tasuki, but you'll have to wait outside with Taiyo. Taiyo-kun, take really good care of Tasuki. Chan, okay. Play nice, Hinata said, caressing Taiyo's forehead as Taiyo gave an affirmative yip. Tasuki simply let out a sad squeal and leapt down from Naruto's arms. Akamaru's bark caught everyone's attention as Taiyo and Tasuki began to make their way to the door. Everyone in the room went wide-eyed as Akamaru charged towards Tasuki once more, with Taiyo in a protective stance, ready to defend her, when a light blue blur sped past him and headed straight for Akamaru. It then made a quick ricochet turn to the right and then a straight dash towards Akamaru's side, knocking him into the air. When Tasuki leapt high into the air at high speed and struck Akamaru in midair, she gracefully twirled in midair, whipping Akamaru to the ground and successfully knocking him out. Then, she disappeared into a blur, making multiple ricochet turns. "She is quite the speedster, though I didn't know she was this fast," said Naruto, massaging the back of his head as everyone else, with the exception of Hinata and Naruto, stood there gaping at what they had just seen. With Taiyo and Tasuki running toward the exit, Hinata sighed. It appears that Akamaru upset Tasuki. "Chan. Taiyo-kun, why don't you go outside with Tasuki? Chan now before something else happens." Kiba whimpered. Akamaru was beaten in several seconds. "Humph. That goes to show you, never underestimate Tasuki, Chan. That thing isn't even a fox. No creature can move that fast." Naruto grinned, says the boy whose dog just got his butt whooped by a vixen. "That thing moved so quickly. I should have that kind of power, so why is it going to that untalented loser?" Sasuke Uchiha, thought a boy with onyx eyes, spiky black hair with a blue tint, and a blue short sleeve shirt with a raised collar and the Uchiha crest on the back. He was also wearing white shorts and arm warmers. A girl with bright pink hair, green eyes, and a red Chinese style dress with white circular designs and tight dark green shorts yelled, "Shut up, Naruto. Only an idiot like you would think something weird like that thing is a pet. Besides, you're interrupting Iruka." "Sensei, right Sasuke-kun?" Sakura asked Sasuke sweetly. Humph. Sakura thought that Sasuke had just acknowledged her, and she mentally squealed with joy. The words, "honestly," escaped Mizuki's lips. Iruka squinted in exasperation and said, "I couldn't agree more. Naruto, Hinata, take the seats available and let's move on with the lecture." Naruto and Hinata secretly ascended the stairs in the hopes of sitting next to each other, but since there were no seats available, they were forced to sit in different chairs. "I swear, this is someone's cruel sense of humor," Naruto said, feeling sick as he sat in the vacant chair next to Sakura. "Why must I sit next to the banshee of all people? Even that quiet guy Shino and Ino wouldn't bother me. In fact, Shikamaru is better company, and occasionally Choji even shares his snacks with me." Fake smile. "Hey Sakura. Chan," was Naruto's greeting. Banging Naruto on the head, Sakura yelled, "Shut up, Naruto, and don't you dare try to ask me out again." Not even in my wildest nightmares, Naruto thought as he rubbed his bruise. He then glanced up a few rows to his left and saw Hinata sitting between two boys. Shikamaru Nara, who had narrow brown eyes, relatively long jet black hair tied in a spiky ponytail, and a green-lined mesh t-shirt underneath a short, sleeved gray jacket with green edges. "At least she's not next to Kiba. I'll consider that a win," Naruto said, referring to the boy sitting between two boys. "I guess I can give him credit for trying," Iruka said, continuing his lecture without any problems. "It's amazing that Naruto managed to stay awake for it," he said, hardly taking into account the fact that he kept bobbing his head up and down. "Alright, now it's time for taijutsu practice, so everyone please go outside." "Please, Akamaru is way better looking than that sappy scene." When everyone was outside, they saw Taiyo and Tasuki cuddling up against each other beneath a tree. The girls all squealed in amazement. Akamaru jumped out of Kiba's jacket and went straight for Tasuki again, but Iruka picked him up. "Kiba, control Akamaru, or you'll be forbidden from bringing him again." "But, no, Buts, I already have special permission from your mother, and she even left me this note saying, if I find out that you and Akamaru are misbehaving, I'll make you regret you were ever born." Kiba thought of his mother as her voice merged with Iruka's. When Kiba didn't respond, Iruka put the note down and said, "Your mother sure is subtle, Kiba. Kiba." While lying on the ground in a fetal position, Kiba repeatedly chanted, "I'll be good mommy. I'll be good mommy." Iruka broke down in tears as she said, "I'm not sure if I should feel sorry for him or angry at him." "Alright, listen up, instead of pairing you up like always today we will be pairing you up in a boy versus girl round," said Mizuki, who had a clipboard in front of everyone. Iruka, bewildered, said, "Mizuki, what are you doing?" "You see Iruka, I thought since they'll eventually have to face female opponents why not give them some experience now," Mizuki said with a grin. "The sound of this bothers me," Naruto thought, "it's giving me a bad vibe." "I guess that sounds reasonable, but there'll be time limit of 3 minutes. I don't want anyone getting seriously hurt," Iruka replied. "Alright, first up will be, after a few minutes." With an evil gleam in his eyes that nobody saw, Mizuki said, "Next up will be Naruto Uzumaki. Let's see how you like this demon," he said, versus Hinata Hyuga. When Naruto and Hinata learn that they will have to spar with one another, their eyes enlarge. Why? Why Hinata? For a while, I wouldn't mind beating up the Banshee. I must battle Naruto-kun. Nobody but Naruto-kun, please, Hinata thought as she prayed in her head. Heh, demon, what will you do now? I can't be fooled, but you can fool everyone else. You always end up with the Hyuga heiress when you ask that weakling Haruno out. If you didn't constantly hang out with her and her sister, I would have assumed that you were pretending to have a crush on her in order to keep the Hyuga heiress from suspecting anything. Mizuki, why don't we pair someone else with Naruto? Replied Iruka. Is Iruka aware of his secret? A worried Mizuki thought. I mean, those two are best friends, and I don't think either of them can go through with this, Iruka replied. With an almost deranged expression in his eyes, Mizuki stated, we're ninja Iruka. Personal feelings can't get in the way when on a mission. With both Naruto and Hinata glancing at one another, Iruka said, I guess you're right. Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Hyuga, please step up to the ring. Remember, this is pure taijutsu. No ninjutsu or genjutsu allowed, and no weapons. You have 3 minutes or it will be considered a draw, Iruka repeated. Ready. As they tried to think of a way out of this predicament, Naruto and Hinata exchanged anxious looks. As they waited for Iruka to give the signal to begin their spar, Naruto and Hinata exchanged worried glances. I'm not capable of this. I simply cannot. I love Hinata. Chan too much. I simply cannot. Naruto tried to come up with a solution to escape his situation. I am unable to battle Naruto-kun. He shouldn't despise me. Naruto-kun will likely believe that I am just like the villagers if I fight him. A terrified Hinata on the verge of tears thought. I understand. I'll give up. Both Naruto and Hinata simultaneously thought, a gleam of hope visible in their eyes. I know that look anywhere, Iruka mumbled. Mizuki practically yelled, Iruka, what are you waiting for? Start the match. Hold on Mizuki, let me just make one thing clear for the both of them. Sparring isn't just two people fighting each other, it's a way for one to hone one's own skill, as well as making and creating bonds with one another, a way to measure each other's level, and to learn from one another as well. So I don't want you two to forfeit. Is that clear? Iruka was hoping that Naruto and Hinata would the difference between sparring and fighting. Besides, this is also for a grade, so you can't forfeit until a certain time limit. Everyone started to perspire after Naruto failed at Iruka's final remark. Naruto screamed, you can't be serious, Iruka, sensei. Naruto, your final exams are in a couple of days and you will be tested on your taijutsu. Think of this as a review for that and a way to boost your grade. Will that help? Not really, Naruto moaned. Just do it, Naruto, Iruka demanded. Sighing, I swear you're so stubborn, sometimes I don't know where you get it. An agitated Mizuki asked, can we continue the lesson once you've finished playing house? Before Iruka could intervene once more, Mizuki declared, these two have been paired up, so now they must fight each other with no backing down. If you hesitate you lose the match, and you fail, so fight, and the match began. Wait a minute Mizuki. I already started the match Iruka, so there's nothing you can do now. So come on you two, one of you has to make the first move. Hinata. Chan, don't hesitate, Naruto said as he and Hinata looked at one another once more, and he noticed that Hinata was trembling in terror. Mizuki. Sensei will let you down if you do. Though Mizuki and Naruto noticed, Hinata reluctantly retreated, still terrified of sparring with Naruto. Hinata Hyuga you. Naruto charged at Hinata and extended his left arm, saying, here I go, let's see you dodge my left hook Hinata. Chan. Hinata easily avoided it. N. Naruto.kun W. What? Come on Hinata. Chan, I know you can get the hint, Naruto thought as he turned around and extended his right arm, saying, now try my right punch. Why am I being attacked by Naruto.kun? It's easier to dodge because he keeps saying what he's going to do. Why is Naruto.kun telling me what he's doing so that I can avoid it? Hinata dodged Naruto's blow, she thought. Wait a minute. Hinata Hyuga, you hesitated. You're disqualified, Mizuki screamed. Actually Mizuki, Naruto charged at her before you could disqualify her, and since you did say that one of them had to make the first move, you can't disqualify anyone. Knowing that Iruka was correct and that there was nothing he could do, Mizuki snarled in his mind as he explained. At least I can still watch the demon try to drive away his only friend. That weak girl lacks the confidence to believe that he is truly attacking her. Naruto.kun was keeping me safe. As Hinata dodged another of Naruto's declared attacks, she thought, he was protecting me from being disqualified. As Naruto assumed a brawler's stance, he remarked, you're getting good at this Hinata. Chan, adding, if I can keep this up for a little while longer, then I can forfeit. Naruto thought, I don't care about my grade as long as Hinata-chan gets a better grade, and maybe her father will be lenient with her for a while if he finds out that she beat me. A male voice inside Naruto's head said, "You're too stiff, ease up on your stance. Let the movements flow with one another," causing him to pause in the middle of a punch and look around to find the source of the voice. Who just said that? I can't let Mizuki Sensei fail Naruto-kun and let him attack me. I have to do something, Hinata thought. Hinata declared, Here I circa come Naruto-kun, I'll use my gentle fist, as Naruto dodged her blows. Sakura remarked, "Man, Hinata is doing it now. Those two are so pitiful. You're one to talk forehead. You haven't even gotten your turn. I at least put up a fight," Ino, who lost the match with Choji, said after exhausting him by using her innate flexibility to dodge his blows. "This is more than what I usually eat," Choji said, munching on a bag of chips while multiple bags were scattered across the grass. "Pick up your trash, Choji. Don't you know littering is wrong?" Ino yelled. "Well," Shikamaru whispered to Choji, "at least she has a sense of morals despite being a fangirl." Ino yelled, "No one asked you, you lazy bum," with good hearing, Shikamaru said, perspiring. Both Naruto and Hinata stopped announcing each other's attacks as they carried on their awkward sparring. It said to let the movements flow. How can I accomplish that? Another voice said, think of it like water constantly flowing from one stance to another, which caused Naruto to halt once more. There it was once more, but the sound was different. What is the matter with Naruto-kun? He seems distracted, Hinata thought. Relax and move like water, the voice instructed. As Naruto relaxed into a stance akin to Hinata's gentle fist, he thought, if I do that, then, Hinata easily avoided his thrust when he thrust his fist forward. Hinata barely avoided Naruto's leg sweep as he swiftly sank low and then raised himself up to deliver a punch that missed his target on purpose. Unaware that he was truly missing, Hinata attempted to sidestep Naruto's final blow, but he swiftly grabbed her hand and spun her around as though he were dancing with her. When Naruto released her hand, she returned to her gentle fist position, perplexed by what had just transpired, while everyone else was in disbelief. Naruto thought, well, that was strange, but it felt natural. What occurred just now? A dazed Hinata thought. Naruto has never moved like that in my experience. I really don't want to fail you, Naruto, but I can't play favorites, so you must pass on your own, so I really hope that this is a sign of improvement, Iruka thought. The loser just got lucky, Sasuke thought. Sakura looked at Sasuke and thought, Sasuke-kun is so cool. Naruto-kun's movements made it seem as though we were dancing. A voice inside Hinata's head said, then I guess we shouldn't leave our partner waiting. Don't be afraid to show your emotions. This made her squeal in surprise, drawing attention from everyone. Who said that? It's funny that Hinata-chan just now acted out of surprise. Is she also able to hear the voice? With Hinata struggling to dodge Naruto's blows, Naruto charged at her once more, saying, try to feel the rhythm of his movement and match them. Can you feel the beat? How can I accomplish that? And who was that? Hinata asked herself. Wow. I didn't know I could do that, Hinata said as she spun on her heel, avoiding one of Naruto's blows, and swiftly backflipped right before Naruto executed a roundabout kick. That was the first time I've ever seen Hinata move like that. I appeared to be dancing, a mesmerized Naruto thought. Naruto and Hinata relaxed their positions while gazing into each other's eyes. When Hinata swiftly parried his attack, deflecting his kick and thrusting her palm forward, Naruto leapt into the air, twirling gracefully as he used the momentum to execute a windmill kick. After releasing her hand, which tripped Naruto, Hinata quickly fell to the ground and performed a leg sweep. Naruto then grabbed her wrist and spun her around once more. Naruto charged Hinata again after swiftly recovering with a one-handed backflip. As Hinata dodged Naruto's impending blow, she leaned back, demonstrating her flexibility. Still hunched over, Hinata raised her leg to kick Naruto in the head. In order to deflect Hinata's attack, Naruto grabbed her leg and leaned down, causing her leg to arch over him and spin. Hinata aimed another kick with the momentum of her twirl, which Naruto again caught. Hinata gracefully twirled backwards high into the air and landed on her feet as Naruto placed her caught leg on his other shoulder and Hinata lifted her other leg on his shoulder. This jacket is too constricting, although Hinata and Naruto simultaneously. As they simultaneously lowered their jacket zippers and threw them aside, exposing their matching black shirts underneath, their silver bracelets gleaming in the sunlight, Naruto and Hinata mimicked each other's movements. Some of the girls blushed at Naruto's toned chest and abs, while some of the guys scowled at him because his black shirt showed that he had gained some muscle tone for 12 Year-old. The girls and boys looked at Hinata in envy because she had already developed curves in the right places and breasts that were almost AC.cup. Once more, Naruto and Hinata launched themselves at one another, but this time, Hinata thrust her palm forward, and Naruto dodged by swerving so he was behind her. Naruto put his hands around Hinata's waist to keep her from falling after she staggered backwards and put her back against his chest. Naruto. Kun's hands feel warm, said Hinata, with a laid back expression on her face, and both blushed at the unexpected contact. As Naruto gazed down at Hinata's petite figure, he thought, Hinata-chan, you look so beautiful. Both swiftly parted ways, failing to make contact with one another. Naruto executed a roundabout kick, and Hinata mimicked his move. When Naruto hooked his leg and grabbed Hinata's leg, the two kicks collided in midair. He then spun sideways, forcing Hinata to follow suit. After landing first, Naruto swiftly grabbed Hinata with unfathomable speed, seemingly dipping her while Hinata's hands were on his chest. Both Naruto and Hinata gazed into each other's eyes, displaying a deeper level of admiration. Beep, beep, beep. When Iruka's watch alarm sounded, indicating that 3 minutes had elapsed, Hinata and Naruto abruptly broke their reverie and quickly moved apart, avoiding eye contact. Except for Ino, who was gazing at them with stars in her eyes. Everyone just stared at them in wonder at the incredible performance that Naruto and Hinata had just put on. Both Naruto and Hinata's transformation from clumsy fighting to a graceful display of movement left even Mizuki and Iruka speechless. Yes, well, since time ran out, this match is a tie, Iruka replied. Sakura became enraged and yelled, Naruto, you idiot, what do you think you're doing? I was sparring with Hinata. Chan, isn't that what Iruka, Sensei and Mizuki, Sensei told us to do? Sakura became irate and exclaimed, that's not what I meant. That wasn't sparring. That was indecent. With everyone staring at her, a bewildered Naruto asked, Sakura-chan, are you jealous? A tense Sakura questioned, Please make me jealous. Why would I be jealous? A proud Iruka diverted Sakura's attention by saying, well, Naruto, I must say that was quite impressive. If you perform like that on your final, I'm sure you'll pass easily. Fuck it. Where did the demon acquire that style of fighting? Even worse, I believe I strengthened their bond, Mizuki thought angrily. As Naruto and Hinata went to get their jackets, Naruto sensed that some of the girls were talking about him, and Hinata felt more anxious than normal because all the boys were ogling her. I was aware of Hinata's attractiveness, but that body, Kiba thought. That Hyuga girl seems like a strong person. And she's not that bad to look at, Sasuke thought. Glancing at Hinata, she would make bear-strong Uchiha members in the future. The last pair is Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. Will both of you please step up to the sparring ring? Iruka said. I have to finish this sparring match first, if you can even call it that, Sasuke thought. Humph, me. Feeling envious? Naruto is here. That timid Hyuga and that loser would never make me jealous. Sasuke is the one I love. In addition, I'm more attractive than her. Shaw. And we got paired up with him. I bet our spar will be just as spectacular as that loser, and Sasuke-kun will finally see our worth, replied inner Sakura. The time limit is 3 minutes. Keep in mind that neither ninjutsu nor genjutsu are permitted, nor are weapons. Be ready, Iruka said, raising his hand, start. Sakura was knocked out instantly when Sasuke rushed towards her and punched her in the stomach. Humph, pathetic. Iruka declared, winner. Sasuke. Wow, that was awful. Iruka was disappointed and thought, she really needs to shape up. Iruka said, now that class is over for today, remember to study for your finals, as he and Mizuki left to finish their paperwork. With all of the girls staring at him with hearts in their eyes, Sasuke began to make his way back to the crowd. When Sasuke passed them and came to a stop in front of Hinata, she moved toward Naruto, who was standing directly behind her. Sasuke said, Hinata was it? Come out with me. All of his fangirls, including Sakura, who was now conscious, cried out, what? Sasuke ignored his fangirls and declared, an elite like myself needs someone strong to help me rebuild the Uchiha clan. Because Hinata had a better body figure than they did, all of the girls glared at her in jealousy. I'm sorry Sasuke-san. But I must refuse. Don't have any feelings for Y.U. Nor A.Ami interested. What do you mean, refuse? I'm an elite. Naruto stepped in to help Hinata, saying, she said she's not interested bastard so back off. No one's talking to you loser. Speaking of which, hand over that creature you brought with you earlier. Something that strong should belong to a Uchiha. That creature has a name, and I'm not handing her over to you. Tasuki Chan has the right to choose whoever she wants to stay with. Fine then, I'm sure that thing would rather be with a strong owner instead of some talentless loser. In an attempt to control his rage, Naruto snarled in his head in response to Sasuke's words. Tasuki Chan, Taiyo, come over here for a second. Naruto called Tasuki and Taiyo over, causing them to awaken from their slumber. Tasuki jumped on Naruto's shoulders and purred with joy as he and Taiyo hurried to their owner's side. Tasuki Chan, Sasuke believes you would be better off with him as your owner. Therefore, I want you to choose who you want to stay with, Naruto said, grabbing Tasuki and positioning her between him and Sasuke. Sasuke yelled impatiently, come on, you furry creature. Choose me now so you can give me your power. Seems she still wants to be with me, Sasuke, so you can't have her, Tasuki said, glaring at Sasuke before returning to Naruto's side and jumping on his shoulder once more while purring with joy. TCH said, whatever loser eventually that thing will see that I deserve its power. While Naruto swiftly escorted Hinata away from the crowd before Kiba or anyone else chose to encircle them, Sasuke left with the majority of the girls in tow. You okay, Hinata, Chan? Why? Yes, J. Just AL. Little N. Nervous A. About what happened? I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what came over me. I mean, I've never fought like that before, and then this weird voice just popped into my head. Why? You too? So you also heard that guy talking to you? I heard a versus voice, but it was a W. Woman, Hinata said, pressing her two index fingers together. Weird. Should we tell someone about this? ID. Don't know N Naruto.kun. I mean W. Won't people think W? We're S. Strange? Yeah, you're right, and the villagers already hate me enough. I don't wasn't to give them another reason. Let's just pick up Hanabi, Chan. Mommy. Daddy. Hanabi approached Naruto and Hinata and gave them both a hug. You really aren't going to stop calling us that, are you, Hanabi, Chan? No, said Hanabi with a smile. Naruto laughed and said, how about we go to Ichiraku Ramen instead of walking straight home? My treat. Hanabi and Hinata immediately agreed. While Hinata carried Hanabi's backpack, which also contained the egg Naruto had given her, Naruto draped Hanabi over his shoulders. To keep the egg warm and safe, Hanabi had wrapped it in blankets. A few days later, as Tuchi and Ayame encouraged him to pass his final exam today, Naruto finished his breakfast of Ichiraku Ramen and exclaimed, this is it, Tasuki Chan. For sure I'm going to pass this time. Tasuki joyfully squealed in agreement with Naruto. Hinata Chan, Hanabi Chan, Taiyo. Morning, exclaimed Naruto as he approached the academy's gate and saw Hinata, Hanabi, and Taiyo. Daddy. Because Hanabi would not stop calling them her parents no matter how much Naruto and Hinata tried to reason with her, they both decided to just let her. Naruto and Hinata had grown accustomed to Hanabi calling them that. There's my favorite little munchkin. How's everything? Hanabi exclaimed as she ran up to Naruto, who was hugging her. As if swallowing a bitter pill, Hanabi said, so far, everything is still good. Father hasn't asked mommy or me to spar. Despite her happiness at not having to spar with Hinata, she added, I guess, father is still trying to find some way to measure mommy's strength. Somehow, Hiashi learned that Hinata and Naruto engaged in an equal opportunity spar that ended in a tie. Hiashi took this as a sign of progress because he also heard that Naruto's fighting skills had temporarily improved during their encounter. The fact that Hinata was able to keep up with Naruto's progress indicates that she had somewhat improved as well. He still thought she was weak and moving too slowly, though. With Hinata blushing at his compliment, Naruto said, that's good to hear at least. I'm glad your father was able to back off a bit. Thank you, Naruto.kun. Hinata Chan, you're looking beautiful today. Hinata Chan, go out with me. Hinata Chan, I love you. Looking in the direction of the voices, Naruto, Hinata, and Hanabi noticed a group of boys wearing headbands with Hinata's name on them and hearts in the center. As Hinata's new fanboys pursued him, Naruto grabbed Hinata's hand and carried Hanabi into the academy, Tasuki and Taiyo following closely behind. Oh man. This isn't good. Let's go, Naruto said. After learning what she looked like under her jacket, Hinata was able to attract a sizable following of fanboys the day after their spar, making her the object of all the academy's boys' admiration and the envy of all the girls. Let go of her, Uzumaki. There's no way she would go with a loser like you. A dead last shouldn't even look at our beloved Hinata Chan. Unfortunately, because of his close relationship with Hinata, Naruto had also managed to become the most despised person in the academy, making him the main target of all the other guys. Tunneling Fang. The crowd of fanboys was forced to halt when a huge figure resembling a drill materialized in front of them. Just where do you losers think you're going? Hinata. Chan belongs to me, and if any of you losers think otherwise, then you're just going to have to beat me, Kiba said as the drill stopped rolling, standing with his hands in his pockets as if he was trying to look cool. Bring it on, Inuzuka. I never thought I'd say this, but thank you Kiba for being stupid, thought Naruto as he used the argument between Kiba and the other boys over who should go out with Hinata as a chance to get rid of the band of crazy fanboys. There she is. Hinata. Chan, wait for me. Whoa, have they gotten past Kiba already? While Hinata and Naruto continued to turn into different hallways in an attempt to disperse the crowd, the fanboys demonstrated their tenacity. The group's fastest boy was beginning to close the distance and was about to grab Hinata's hand when a foot struck his face, knocking him into the group and dragging several other boys to the ground. The wounded boy snarled at the kicker, but when he realized who it was, he turned pale and exclaimed, "S. Sasuke Uchiha." Sasuke's dark voice made the group shudder in terror as he said, "That's right, and let me make one thing perfectly clear. Hinata Hyuga is mine, and if any of you get in my way, I'll kill you. W. We're not scared of you Uchiha. Yeah, W. We'll defend our love for our Hinata. Chan to the bitter end. Humph. Sasuke-kun is so cool. Sasuke-kun, go out with me." A swarm of Sasuke's admirers gathered behind him to cheer him on as soon as he appeared, but they still detested Hinata for taking their focus away from Sasuke. Alongside Hanabi, Hinata, and Naruto after repeatedly turning into other hallways, Naruto eventually arrived at their classroom and used whatever he could find to block the door. Damn, pant, persistent, pant, bastards, don't, pant, no, pant, when, pant, to, pant, quit, Naruto said, leaning against the wall and sliding down until he was sitting on the floor with Hinata and Hanabi nursing him. I'm, pant, sorry, pant, Naruto-kun. Don't, pant, B. The cry, I'm S. Scared, came from Hanabi, since she detested all of Hinata's fanboys whenever they pursued the trio. Hanabi had demonstrated that she had a shy side in addition to her hyperactive personality. With the fanboys pursuing Hinata and Hanabi almost daily, Naruto had done everything in his power to keep them safe, but each time it ended with the three of them huddled together inside a room of some sort, barricaded until someone discovered them. Everything's going to be alright Hanabi. Chan. This is our classroom, so I'm sure Iruka. Sensei will come by shortly. Iruka shocked the three by saying, a lot sooner than you think actually, while looking down at them. Let me guess. Hinata's admirers? He asked. When they heard a lot of noise outside the barricaded door, the three nodded in agreement and said, I'll deal with them. I'll take Hanabi to her classroom as well. Hanabi said, Eggy. Is Eggy okay? Hinata unzipped Hanabi's backpack and revealed the light purple egg was undamaged, saying, the egg is fine Hanabi, Chan see? All of you get to class or you are all expelled. You're ninja ACT like one. Iruka yelled with his well-known giant head genjutsu as the door slid open and a large group of boys tried to enter the classroom at the same time. Naruto and Iruka began removing the items that had blocked the door while Iruka was getting ready. When Iruka said, let's go Hanabi, Chan, or you'll be late as well, the throng of boys stopped clogging the entrance and swiftly scattered. After Iruka left, Hanabi said, thank you, Iruka, Sensei. Tasuki and Taiyo sat on the laps of Naruto and Hinata as they sat together. Hinata sighed, I'm starting to get tired. I don't blame you Hinata, Chan, to think you would become the school idol after one little spar, and that's because all those shallow pigs out there saw you. They don't even appreciate you for being you. Thank you Naruto-kun. Hinata blushed when Naruto said, you don't have to thank me Hinata. Chan. Whenever you need me, I'll always be there for you. I'm glad to see you smiling for real Naruto-kun, Hinata said, her smile genuine enough to make Naruto blush. I just hope I pass the taijutsu portion. I haven't heard that voice since that day, Naruto replied. Hinata stroked Taiyo's fur and said, me neither. Why you think it circa could have been our imagination? If it was, then it was a strong coincidence that our imaginations gave us the same advice. Iruka was on fanboy patrol for a few minutes as the class filled in, making sure that no one tried to enter his class without permission to be with Hinata and that the boys weren't disturbing her. Okay class. Today is your final exam and it will consist of 3 parts. Written portion, taijutsu, and ninjutsu. Each part will have a set of rules for you to follow. Also, before I forget, Naruto, Hinata, you know the rules. As Tasuki and Taiyo descended the stairs to the open door that Iruka was holding, Naruto complained, yeah, no pets allowed. It's already become like a routine. Iruka cautioned Kiba once more, remember the rule I told you. Kiba struggled to stop Akamaru from pursuing Tasuki and said, I'm trying Iruka, sensei. Good. Now we will begin with the written portion of the test. You have an hour to answer each question. Cheating will automatically disqualify you. Good luck to all of you. As they waited for the final section of the test to start, Naruto and Hinata were seated anxiously next to one another. Naruto defeated his opponent, a random student, in the taijutsu test, even though he was aware that he had failed the written section. The fact that Naruto didn't hear the voice from the previous time perplexed him. But Naruto was aware that he would need to pass the ninjutsu section of the test if he wished to pass. Looking to his side, Naruto saw a frightened and apprehensive Hinata trembling. Although Hinata felt she performed well on the written section of the test, she lost to her opponent in the taijutsu test because she didn't want to injure them. Additionally, Hinata had not heard the voice during her previous battle with Naruto. Hinata was more anxious about the ninjutsu test because she was afraid she might fail and incur her father's wrath, but her average grades gave her a better chance of passing. Hinata-chan, Naruto calling her name cut through Hinata's thoughts, saying, you'll be fine Hinata-chan. Just you watch, you're going to pass these exams and you'll be on your way to becoming one of the strongest kunoichi ever. Thank you Naruto-kun, Hinata whispered, causing Naruto to smile his foxy grin. Hinata blushed at Naruto's remark, which made her feel more at ease and confident in her abilities. I made a self-promise to tell you how I truly feel about you if we end up dating. Thus, failure is not an option for me, Naruto thought resolutely. You've always supported me, Naruto-kun. When Hinata suddenly recalled the warmth she experienced when Naruto wrapped his arms around her during their battle, she unconsciously placed a hand close to her heart and thought, I hope we pass together and maybe. Hinata-chan. Another interruption to Hinata's thoughts came when she noticed Naruto staring at her with concern and asking, are you okay? You seem a bit red. Hinata stammered, I'm fine and Naruto-kun. Really I am, and waved her arms. Naruto chuckled to himself, she's so cute when she acts like that. Alright everyone, now it's time for the final portion of the test. This part of the test is separated into 2 parts. We will begin the first part and test you on your transformation jutsu, so everyone line up in a single line. When Naruto was standing in front of Iruka, taking final notes from the previous students, he looked up at Naruto and said, okay Naruto Uzumaki, it's your turn. Remember you must transform into someone else and it must be good in order to get a passing grade. This was after a number of students had completed their test. Good luck, Naruto, Iruka thought. With whom should I change? That's strange, Naruto thought as a picture of a man with silver hair flashed into his mind, perplexing him. I'll try it even though I don't recall ever seeing anyone like that. After focusing his chakra and performing a ram seal, Naruto exclaimed, here goes. Transform. And changed into a very attractive young man with silver blue eyes, short bangs, long, silver hair that falls loosely down his back, white silken robes, and a blue jeweled earring on his left ear. Wow, what a hunk! Exclaimed every girl, with the exception of Sakura, as they gazed at the man with hearts in their eyes. Does he have girlfriend? I think I found my future husband. He's like Prince Charming. All of the girls glared at Sakura when she said, please, Sasuke-kun is much hotter, and besides, it's still Naruto. Stop ruining our fantasy forehead, yelled Ino. He looked at me. The girls all practically screamed in delight as the man turned his head slightly. I think I'm in love, the man remarked, they're a lively bunch. Naruto, who is this? Iruka asked, attempting to hide his blush. Pardon me, Iruka. Sensei. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yu Tsukishiro. Yu shocked Iruka and the other students by bowing respectfully towards Iruka. He changed not just how he looked, but also how he behaved. Naruto, you never cease to astound me. Was that what I just said? It changed, Naruto thought. When the changed Naruto turned to face Hinata and noticed that she was pressing her index fingers together, Iruka exclaimed, right, Naruto, you get full marks on your transformation. Sorry, Iruka. Sensei, but I'm going to need your help for a prank. Naruto knew right away that she was nervous and wanted to help her. This will lift Hinata-chan's spirits, Naruto thought. Rather than returning to his normal self, he saw a naked girl with 2 pigtails, whisker marks, and swirling clouds covering her intimate parts. The girl said, "Oh, Haruka." Sensei, in a seductive manner, sending Haruka flying backwards with a stream of his own blood coming from his nose. Clutching his side, Naruto reverted to laughter and said, "Gotcha with my sexy jutsu." "You and that stupid jutsu, wham. That's it, I was going to give you this Ichiraku free ramen coupon but apparently you don't want it," said Haruka, who had tissues in his nose and struck Naruto in the head. "What? Come on Haruka. Sensei, it was just a prank." "And yet I'm always the victim in that prank," Naruto exclaimed. "Come on Haruka. Sensei." As he attempted to grab the coupon from Haruka's hand but was thwarted by her outstretched arm. Naruto made multiple attempts but was always kept at a safe distance, creating a hilarious scene that made everyone laugh. With Naruto on his back, Haruka said, "If you promise to behave when class is over then I'll give it to you. Sound fair?" Haruka reached out and tried to grab the coupon, making sure it was out of Naruto's reach. "Easy to see you feel better, Hinata-chan," Naruto moaned as he jumped off Haruka's back and walked back to his seat, but not before spotting a giggling Hinata. "I'm grateful, Naruto-kun. You never fail to lift my spirits," Hinata thought. Haruka straightened his Chunin vest and said, "Going on, Hinata Hyuga is next. The same rules apply, you must transform into someone else and it must be good. Who should I become? I suppose I can transform into Kurenai. Sensei," Hinata thought as a picture of a woman with red hair flashed into her consciousness, perplexed. "Who was that?" "Hinata, we're on a time limit here so I need you to transform." "How's this Haruka?" "Sensei," Hinata asked, shaking her head while concentrating her chakra and performing a ram seal. "Why? Yes, of course. Transform." Hinata changed into a stunning young woman with chocolate brown eyes, a white kimono, a red jeweled earring on her right ear, and red hair parted down the middle with a slight lift on the left side that ran down her back. "What a babe!" exclaimed Haruka and the other men, including Sasuke, as they blushed at the sight of the stunning young lady. "An elegant beauty like that could make any man happy. Come on babe, I'll take you out on a date, back off, she's mine." While Sasuke and Kiba were still arguing, Haruka moaned, "If it's not one thing, it's another," and pinched the bridge of his nose. "Shut up all of you, or you're all disqualified," Haruka yelled, using his giant head jutsu. "After all, boys will be boys," the woman said with a smile. "Was I the one?" Hinata thought. After regaining his composure, Haruka asked, "Now then Hinata, who exactly is this?" Haruka blushed as Layla bowed respectfully and said, "Of course Haruka. Sensei, my name is Layla Tayogose. It's a pleasure to meet you." Naruto appears to have been rubbing off of Hinata. When Haruka saw Layla's red jeweled earring, he thought, she really changed her personality for this character. Now that I think about it, Naruto's character also had a similar earring in the opposite ear, he thought. Additionally, it appears that their bracelets match in color. Hinata's is red, and Naruto's is blue. Additionally, their last names coincide with the names of their pets, and both of their earrings are on the same side as their bracelets. "Is something wrong Haruka?" "Sensei." "Oh, no, nothing's wrong. Hinata, you get full marks on your transformation." As soon as fanboys started yelling at her, "Hinata-chan, you're amazing." Hinata changed back to her normal self. "Say Hinata-chan, how about you and I? Back off dog breath, she's going to be my bride." "Say that to my face Uchiha. Enough, all of you. One more outburst and you'll be spending another year with little children," Haruka screamed. Haruka said, "Now then Hinata." But when he saw Naruto's jacket trembling while he was motionless, he saw a straw figure where Hinata was standing. Hinata said, "Poor girl," as she cautiously peered over Naruto's shoulder to confirm that it was safe for her to emerge. Haruka thought, "I hope she finds her confidence soon." Well, that concludes the first part of the test. Now I will call you each individually where Mizuki and I will test you on the last part of the exam. For several minutes, Naruto and Hinata sat close to one another, growing more anxious by the second. Hinata interrupted their silence by asking, Do I? You think W? We'll pass N Naruto-kun? As their two hands touched, Naruto remarked, "I know we will Hinata-chan." Blushing, Naruto and Hinata jerked their hands away. When Naruto and Hinata put their hands together, they looked at one another anxiously. With a slight smile on her face, Hinata slowly leaned against Naruto's arm. Mizuki called out, "Hinata Hyuga." With a sudden jerk, Hinata left Naruto's arm and ran down to where Mizuki was supposed to take the second exam section. After a few minutes of patient waiting, Naruto watched Hinata leave wearing her new leaf headband around her neck. All right. I was confident Hinata-chan could succeed. Naruto heard Mizuki call his name after a number of students had finished their test. Iruka and Mizuki were seated at a table with multiple headbands when Naruto entered the adjoining classroom. To pass this part of the exam, Naruto, you must make a successful clone using the clone jutsu, Naruto said. Good luck, Naruto, Iruka thought. With a mental groan, Naruto focused his chakra and executed a ram seal, saying, I can do this, I'm capable. Clone jutsu. When a lifeless-looking clone materialized beside Naruto, a cloud of smoke surrounded him. No, I must pass, please. Tell me this is a nightmare, please. Iruka thought, Naruto, it hurts my feelings to say this. I'm sorry Naruto, but you fail. You scored below average on the written test, and you performed outstanding in the taijutsu test, but without a successful clone your overall grades alone aren't enough to pass. I'm sorry. Come on Iruka, even Hinata didn't make a successful clone, Mizuki replied. Iruka put a disheartened hand on Naruto's shoulders and said, although that may be true, her overall grade was 1 point over the passing limit. As teachers, we can't play favorites with our students. There's always next year, a dejected Naruto remarked. Iruka smiled earnestly and said, but first I want you to give you a piece of advice Naruto. What is it Iruka? Sensei. Iruka gave Naruto a noogie as the blonde fought against her grip. If you ever do that sexy jutsu on me again I'll cut off your ramen supply for a whole year, she said. Outside Tasuki was sitting in Naruto's lap on the swing set, staring up at Naruto with a sad expression. Standing in front of Naruto, Taiyo, Hinata, and Hanabi expressed their sadness that he failed, saying, I thought I was going to pass for sure. Naruto.kun. I'm sorry Hinata-chan. I'm sorry I wasn't able to keep my promise to you. Don't give up Naruto.kun. I know that you can do it, I know you can become a ninja, and we'll become strong together so don't give up on our promise. Hinata took Naruto's hand as he stared into her pale lavender eyes. Hinata-chan. Hinata smiled at him, making Naruto blush. A hyper Hanabi exclaimed, oh, daddy's blushing. Are you finally going to kiss mommy? Which caused Hinata and Naruto to blush in shame. A panicked Hinata yelled, Hanabi-chan, and grabbed Hanabi. Let's go, we have to go home and tell father otherwise he'll be furious. Good.bye Naruto.kun. A disappointed Hanabi exclaimed, ah, but mommy and daddy were finally going to kiss, as Taiyo followed them, Hinata blushing even more. When Naruto heard someone yelling, Naruto weighed up. He left the swing set and began to walk home while holding Tasuki. Tasuki glared at Mizuki and growled softly, making Naruto wonder what she was growling at. Mizuki. Sensei? Say Naruto, you got a minute? Later on in the evening Tasuki landed beside Naruto, who was carrying a big scroll when he landed close to a wooden shack. When Tasuki squealed in concern, Naruto turned to face her and said, it's okay, Tasuki-chan. Besides, it's not like I hit him or anything. I just used my sexy jutsu on the old man and those Anbu guys. You would think they would have better control or something. Naruto felt guilty as Tasuki gazed at him with her midnight blue eyes and her ears pointing down. Okay. I'll apologize after this is over, a battered Naruto said. Honestly, Tasuki-chan, sometimes you're just too cute. Just as Naruto sat down and opened the scroll, Tasuki jumped joyfully on his lap and said, now let's see here. Naruto was looking at the first jutsu listed in the scroll when he suddenly lost hope. Shadow Clone Jutsu, grown great clones again. Might as well try it right Tasuki-chan? He asked, and Tasuki squealed with joy. Naruto.kun. Ah, with a startled yelp, Naruto took responsibility for Suki's graceful landing beside him. What are you doing here Naruto.kun? Asked Naruto as he quickly regained his composure and noticed Taiyo waving his tail and Hinata standing behind him with a worried expression on her face. I should ask you the same thing Hinata-chan. Naruto chuckled nervously and scratched the back of his head, saying, I saw you coming out of the Hokage tower and it looked like you were in trouble. Well, maybe with the old man for using a certain jutsu on him, but I'm actually doing a make-up test with Mizuki. Sensei. I have to learn a jutsu from this scroll to pass. Perhaps I can assist, Hinata said, flushed. Well Mizuki. Sensei said not to tell anyone and not to get caught, and technically I didn't tell you until you found me. Also you're not officially a genin yet so I haven't been technically caught. With Taiyo yipping joyfully, Hinata remarked, and Iruka. Sensei is always saying that teamwork is always the key to success. Break when Naruto and Hinata heard someone yelling. They heard a tree branch break. When Naruto noticed a figure falling from a broken tree branch, he sprinted in its direction and dove to catch the person as they landed on his back. The figure turned out to be Hanabi, kneeling on Naruto's back and holding her light purple egg in her arms. Hanabi-chan, what are you doing here? It's way past your bedtime, replied Hinata. Inspired by Naruto, Hanabi giggled nervously and scratched the back of her head, saying, I saw mommy chasing after daddy, and I thought daddy was in trouble again. I want to help daddy too. Hanabi-chan, I know you mean well, but it's dangerous here, Hinata replied. Hanabi whimpered, but I want to help, as Naruto stood up and dismissed himself. Hanabi-chan, listen to Hinata-chan. She means well and you're not strong enough to handle these kinds of things just yet. Just keep working hard and don't ever give up, okay? Naruto said, bending down to Hanabi's eye level and gently massaging her head. Can't I stay with you and mommy? Hanabi asked, casting a sorrowful glance at Naruto. Well, we can't leave her alone, and you did say you were going to help me with the jutsu. Why don't we let her stay with us for now? Plus, she might learn a thing or two, Naruto said, grinning sincerely as he turned to face Hinata in response to Hanabi's question. It makes me feel like we really are a married couple, Hinata said, blushing as she watched Naruto speak to Hanabi like a parent would to a child. Hinata pressed her index fingers together and stammered, that's fine, guess. Tower of Hokage looked up at the different ninja in front of him. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, moaned in exasperation. It would seem Naruto Uzumaki has stolen the forbidden scroll. We must retrieve the scroll and Naruto Uzumaki back unharmed. Hokage Sama, that demon. The ninja shivered in terror as the renowned professor stood in front of them, promising to destroy them if any of them hurt Naruto. The scroll and Naruto Uzumaki's safety are our main priority. Now move. Sarutobi interrupted the Jonin with a shuriken that had grazed his cheek and was aimed at all of the ninja. If any of you so much as harm the boy in any way, then consider your lives forfeit. I'll personally deal with the execution, and I'll make sure you live long enough to regret it. As the ninja dispersed in all directions, Sarutobi waved his arm, causing his Hokage robe to billow in the breeze. Only I will be able to locate him. I'll get the power I really deserve this time, Mizuki thought. Where are you, Naruto? Iruka thought. The forest. Yay. You did it. You both did it. A delighted Hanabi clapped as Naruto and Hinata panted from exhaustion. Naruto gasped, man, that jutsu took a lot more out of me than I thought. Hinata panted, same here. Since Hinata struggled with her own clone jutsu, she also made the decision to try the new one. Additionally, Hinata's Byakugan taught her and Naruto how to control their chakra, and she said, thanks again Hinata-chan for helping me. Hinata blushed and said, I should be thanking you for teaching me a new jutsu, but it's okay, Naruto-kun. Hanabi exclaimed, oh, it moved. At this point, as Hanabi gently rubbed the egg in her hands, Naruto and Hinata turned to face her. Eggy moved. Is it going to hatch soon, daddy? They asked. It could be Hanabi-chan, but in the meantime just keep it safe, okay? Okay. So here you are, Naruto. Hanabi. Hinata. What are you two doing here? Iruka responded. Ah. Iruka. Sensei. Wait. Hinata-chan and Hanabi-chan don't count as being caught. They're not ninja yet, said Naruto in a frantic voice. Iruka asked in confusion, what are you talking about, Naruto? Aren't you and Mizuki Sensei evaluating my make-up test? Make-up test? Naruto, there is no make-up test. That's the forbidden scroll of sealing that should be locked in the Hokage's vault. The scroll contains a lot of powerful and dangerous jutsu. Iruka just told the three of them, but Mizuki Sensei, and they were shocked. Iruka screamed, watch out, and used a huge shuriken that was lodged in a tree to throw Naruto to the ground. Mizuki landed on a tree branch and said, well, if it isn't Iruka. Oh, and I see we have a couple of uninvited guests. An angry Iruka yelled, Mizuki, how could you betray your own village? You're blaming me when you yourself are also betraying your village? What? Mizuki smiled evilly and asked, why don't you tell Naruto the truth about why you hate him so much? What? A startled Naruto asked. Iruka. Sensei. A startled Hinata asked, as a terrified Hanabi hid behind her. That's not true, Naruto, don't listen to him. Of course it's true. Admit it, you hate him like the rest of the village, Mizuki grumbled. Be careful, Lady Hinata and Lady Hanabi. You wouldn't want to get mixed up with a demon. Naruto backed up slowly, terrified. A frightened Hinata exclaimed, "W. What? Oh, that's right, you don't know. Mizuki. Don't." Iruka had to dodge as Mizuki threw multiple enormous shuriken at him. When Iruka was jumping on a tree branch, the final shuriken managed to sever Iruka behind his knee, but he was able to avoid all of the others. Iruka let out a painful groan and landed hard on the forest floor while clutching his injured leg. You see, when the Kyuubi attacked, another Kyuubi appeared as they both started fighting. Both Kyuubis started fighting when the fourth sealed them both away, but their massive power was so great that it overwhelmed the container, and that container is you, Naruto. You are the product of two Kyuubi no Kitsune. You are the new Kyuubi no Kitsune, the new nine-tailed fox. Mizuki's words caused Naruto to become very emotional. With tears in his eyes, Naruto collapsed to his knees and exclaimed, "No, it can't be, I'm human, I'm human." Ha, ha, ha. Do you honestly think that Kyuubi? Tell me, if that's true, then how come you don't remember your parents? Why does everyone scorn you? Why does everyone hate you? As Iruka struggled to stand up, she screamed, "Don't listen to him, Naruto. Run. Take the scroll and run to safety." With a deranged expression in his eyes, Mizuki pulled out another giant shuriken and yelled, "Face it, Naruto. Everyone hates you, including Iruka. You're the harbinger of death. You're a demon. You're Kyuubi. I'll be branded as a hero. I'll be the hero that finally defeated Kyuubi, and Iruka will be nothing more than a traitor. Then I'll take that scroll." As Hanabi and Hinata watched in horror, Mizuki hurled the enormous shuriken that was meant to kill Naruto. "What if it's true?" asked Naruto, still in disbelief as he stared at the approaching shuriken. "It would be better for me to die." Thud. Although it did not hit its intended target, the shuriken did hit its target. Naruto looked up in disbelief as Iruka saved him again, this time with a giant shuriken embedded on his back, and he was tackled down once more. "Iruka. Sensei," exclaimed Hinata. "It's not true, you're not Kyuubi. It's true that Kyuubi is sealed inside you, but you're not him. You're Naruto," said Iruka. Iruka. Sensei. My parents died when the two Kyuubi attacked, and I felt alone just like you, so I became the class clown as well, just to get attention. Every day I stood crying over my parents' grave, but Lord Hokage pushed me to become a better person, just like I pushed you to become a better ninja." A number of tears fell on Iruka's face. "When I first saw you enter my classroom, I didn't know what to think, but as I got to know you, I saw myself in you. I saw a person who was scared and alone. So I promised myself that I would help you become a better person, a better ninja, and not once did I ever hate you, Naruto. You were like a son to me." Clap, clap, clap. A very touching speech, Iruka, but I think it's time I ended this. Iruka took off the shuriken on his back and positioned himself as defensively as he could, but he was told to, "Naruto, take the scroll and run." Taking the scroll with him, Naruto hurried to his feet and seized Hinata and Hanabi, guiding the two sisters further into the forest. "Pity, Iruka, I gave you the perfect opportunity to kill the new Kyuubi, but I see I was wrong to put my faith in you. Instead you just told a little sob story and let him get away. I'll send the demon back where he belongs. I think I'll take the two Hyuga girls with me. I'm sure the hidden cloud village would pay handsomely for two Byakugan users." Iruka snarled, "I won't let you touch any of them, Mizuki. You're sick." With all of his strength, Iruka threw the shuriken, severing the tree branch where Mizuki was standing. Well, looks like I hit a nerve, but you're not a threat to me. One of my shurikens cut the tendons behind your knee, making you immobilize. Don't worry, I'll make sure Naruto screams in pain before I kill him," Mizuki said, avoiding Iruka's attack with ease before he pursued Naruto and the others. Going further into the woods while Hanabi, Hinata, and Naruto were leaping from tree branch to tree branch, Mizuki, posing as Iruka, came up behind them and threw a kunai at Naruto's back, striking it squarely. With Hanabi and Hinata beside him, the trio swiftly touched down. The phony Iruka said, "Naruto, it's okay. I took care of Mizuki. He almost got you good, didn't he?" Taking the kunai from behind him, Naruto hurled it at the phony Iruka's shoulder. Naruto, what? As Naruto, Hinata, and Hanabi vanished into a cloud of smoke, an injured Iruka took their place. "I know you're not Iruka because I'm the real Iruka. You never were good with the clone jutsu, Mizuki." "Iruka? How? You'd be amazed what a parent would do when their child is in danger. Naruto is like a son to me, and I'm not going to let you lay a finger on him. You can cut me all you want, but I'll still fight you no matter what the cost." Naruto, Hinata, and Hanabi were hiding near a tree where Iruka and Mizuki were fighting, and the three of them were listening to everything that was said. You're nothing more than a hypocrite, Iruka. He's a beast. He's nothing more than a mindless animal with an uncontrollable lust for blood. You're right, that is a beast, Iruka replied, making Naruto even more disappointed to hear this. So I guess that makes you a beast, Mizuki. Naruto isn't a beast, he's a person. He cries, he feels, he's a person who's never been given a chance. I believe in Naruto. I believe that he can accomplish anything that he puts his mind into it. I also believe that he will become the strongest ninja that will ever live. But you, Mizuki, you're nothing but a savage beast out for blood and power, just like you said. I was going to be merciful and kill you last, but I guess there's no point in delaying the inevitable. Mizuki snarled in rage at Iruka's remark, snatching the final shuriken strapped to his back. Wham! Mizuki was thrown a considerable distance after being struck on the head by a blunt object. Looking up, Mizuki saw Naruto putting the big forbidden scroll down with a loud thud. With determination and rage in his eyes, Naruto glared at Mizuki and said, "If you ever touch my sensei, I'll kill you." When another kunai lodged itself in Mizuki's shoulder, causing him to drop his own, he growled, "Is that a threat, demon?" and pulled out a kunai. With a kunai in a defensive stance, Hinata materialized beside Naruto. Mizuki snarled, "Looks like the timid little Hyuga finally got some guts." Hinata stammered, "It. Trust Naruto. Kun with M.My life, IW. Won't A. Abandon him," as Taiyo and Tasuki stood beside their masters, snarling at Mizuki. Ha, is that supposed to be a threat? A sealed demon, a crippled chunin, a genin fresh out of the academy, and two little pets. What a joke. Mom, Dad, please watch out. With the egg pulsing in her arms, Hanabi prayed in her mind. Say whatever you want, traitor, but I won't let you hurt my friends. I'll protect everyone that is precious to me. I've been waiting to hear you say that. This time we'll give you the power you need. What's going on? I'm stuck, Naruto exclaimed as a big circular seal with runes and a crescent moon in the center materialized beneath him. Looks like that's our cue. Hold on, Hinata-chan. What's happening? I can't move, Hinata exclaimed as a big circular seal with runes and a sun in the center materialized beneath her. Mizuki took advantage of the distraction to grab two kunai from his pouch and aim them at Hinata and Naruto, shocking both Iruka and Mizuki with what had happened. Tasuki stopped the kunai by grabbing it by the handle, and Taiyo did the same. When he began to glow, Taiyo let out a loud growl and broke the kunai in his mouth into pieces. When two enormous angelic wings materialized on Taiyo's back, encasing him in a feathery cocoon, his fur began to glow. When the wings separated, the cocoon glowed brightly, revealing a large wolf that was roughly Hinata's size. It had two large white angelic wings, a white circle mark on its forehead with sky blue eyes, and a white underbelly and white-tipped paws. The wolf also wore heavy leg armor covering all four legs, a silver chestplate, and headgear with a ruby in the center of the chestplate. When the big wolf turned his head and stared at Hinata as though attempting to communicate with her, she exclaimed in shock, Taiyo-kun. Tasuki vanished from view after successfully knocking Mizuki back with a variety of ricochet attacks. When two enormous angelic wings also materialized, enveloping her in a feathery cocoon and swiftly descending to the ground, Tasuki leapt high into the air and turned gracefully. A light blue fox half Taiyo's size with rabbit-like ears, dark blue tips on its tail, ears, and paws, two large angelic wings on its back, a diamond-shaped sapphire forehead mark, and midnight blue eyes was revealed when the cocoon's wings opened before it could touch the ground. In addition, the fox wore light silver ankle armor with gold wing designs close to its feet, silver headgear, and silver chest armor with a sapphire in the center of the chest plate. Naruto exclaimed in awe, Tasuki-chan, wow, you look great, as Tasuki gave Naruto a joyful look. What are they? Demons, a terrified Mizuki exclaimed. Then, with electricity concentrated into a sphere, Taiyo opened his jaw and let out a thunderous roar. Mizuki was forced to dodge as Taiyo released the sphere. When the sphere struck a tree, it destroyed a significant portion of its trunk, causing the tree to topple over. When Mizuki noticed the approaching tree, he promptly rolled aside, but Hanabi was also in the path of the falling tree. Just seconds before the tree hit the ground, Tasuki vanished from view once more, leaving Hanabi so terrified that she was immobile. Hanabi dangled from Suki's mouth as she reappeared. While whimpering, Taiyo nuzzled Hanabi and said, It's okay, Taiyo-kun. I know you didn't mean it. Tasuki simply flicked her tail against Taiyo's nose and made a little squealing sound as Taiyo whimpered an apology towards her. When Mizuki threw a flash bomb at the two winged beasts, blinding them, Taiyo and Tasuki charged in his direction. Mizuki yelled, "Your pets may have saved you, but now you're wide open," and snatched up a giant shuriken that had been thrown away, throwing it at the three. "Hanabi! Chan, run!" shouted Naruto as he struggled against the circular seal at his feet, which was still preventing him and Hinata from moving. "Hanabi! Chan, please run! Move out of the way!" As Iruka struggled to move, someone worriedly asked, "Naruto, Hinata, what's happening? Damn it! I can't get my leg to move, and that kunai injury is making it worse." Hanabi cried out, "But what about you? I don't want to lose my mommy again," as a tear fell on the egg in her arms as it began to break. "What's going on?" Hinata felt a warm sensation and a pulse emanate from her abdomen. "Almost there, Hinata. Chan, just a little more, the process is almost complete." While attempting to assist Hanabi, Naruto persisted in struggling against the seal. "Try not to struggle so much, Naruto. It's difficult enough trying to synchronize our chakras. No harm shall befall little Hanabi. I swear it on my life. Just let us finish the synchronization." "I'm not sure who you are, but please move quickly," Naruto thought. When the egg shined brightly and released a purple light, Hanabi exclaimed, "Mommy, Daddy, I don't want to lose both of you." A tiny sphere of purple light stopped in front of Hanabi as the egg cracked completely. A huge barrier shielding the three from Mizuki's shuriken was shattered by the pulse that the ball of light emitted. "Impossible!" a startled Mizuki exclaimed. The sphere changed into a tiny humanoid creature with wings like butterflies and blue eyes, about the size of an egg. It exclaimed, "I won't let you hurt my mama and papa," in a voice reminiscent of a young girl. As though protecting the three, the humanoid figure's arms were extended. When a tiny pink sphere was launched from Hinata's stomach and headed directly at Mizuki, tackling him to the ground, she felt another powerful chakra pulse from her abdomen. "Nichan, we have to protect Hanabi." "Wanichan," said the sphere as it swiftly approached the humanoid figure. When two enormous angelic wings appeared on Hinata and Naruto's backs, slowly encasing them in a cocoon, their seals began to glow brighter. When the voices instructed Naruto and Hinata to calm down, they became anxious. When they were fully absorbed, a pulse was released from their feathery cocoons, which gradually opened to reveal Naruto and Hinata with new features. Naruto gained a few inches and his hair grew to his waist, turning silver with yellow bangs and a hint of muscle tone, giving him the appearance of a swimmer. In addition, Naruto had ivory claws on his hands and feet, two large angelic wings on his back, a long silver tail with a white tip that swayed gently back and forth, and two silver fox ears above his head where his regular ears had disappeared. Hinata also underwent changes, including having longer hair that reached her waist, keeping her hair color the same with some red bangs near the front, having a more slender figure with more developed curves and mid-sized C-cup breasts, having two midnight blue fox ears on top of her head, instead of her normal ears, having ivory claws on her hands and feet, and having two large angelic wings on her back. "Wow, I thought Hinata-chan was beautiful before, but now she looks like an angel," Naruto and Hinata said as they gazed at each other, appreciating their transformations. Naruto.kun appears incredibly powerful and attractive. At least his eyes didn't change, Hinata thought. Hinata-chan, what? Hinata heard a male voice say, "Well, explain later. Right now we have a fight on our hands, too." Mizuki held his chest where the pink sphere had struck him and moaned in agony. "So you finally decided to show your true colors, Kyuubi. Once I kill you and your harlot, I'll be able to get away with anything including stealing the scroll," Mizuki said, staring at the changed Naruto and Hinata in disbelief as an evil smile came to his face. Behind him, Taiyo and Tasuki were regaining their vision and slowly moving forward like a predator cornering its prey when Mizuki heard several fierce growls. Mizuki pulled out a second flash bomb and exclaimed, "Looks like you two freaks didn't learn the first time. Let's see you deal a second dosage." "What?" Hinata exclaimed as she saw the flash bomb and sprang forward at high speed, immobilizing Mizuki's arms with her gentle fist technique. Naruto appeared above him, swinging the forbidden scroll like a giant mallet, knocking Mizuki to the ground and leaving a large crater in his wake. Tasuki vanished from view, sending Mizuki flying high into the air. As if daring Mizuki to move, Taiyo showed up, pinning him down and flashing his enormous teeth. Approaching Mizuki's fallen body, Naruto yelled, "Taiyo, I want to finish him off. He deserves what's coming to him. Traitor. You put Hanabi-chan in danger, you endangered my sensei's life, and you almost killed Hinata-chan. I will never forgive you for this," Taiyo said, slowly raising his paw from Mizuki's chest while watching him. The words, I won't forgive him either. Naruto.kun. He nearly took someone precious to both of us. Let's show him what happens to those who endanger our loved ones. Were spoken by Naruto as Hinata put a hand on his shoulder and he turned to face her. Hinata-chan, shall we try our new jutsu? Shadow Clone Jutsu? Hinata nodded as Naruto and Hinata placed their hands in a cross-shaped hand seal. The sheer number of Naruto and Hinata clones encircling the area astounded Mizuki and Iruka, who exclaimed, "Those aren't regular clones, these clones are solid." This is impossible, exclaimed a dazed Mizuki. Nothing's impossible with me around. Ready Hinata-chan? Ready. As they battered Mizuki to death, each clone screamed a battle cry and charged directly at him. Naruto, Hinata, I'm proud of both of you. Especially you Naruto. You've grown right before my eyes and it makes me proud to call you my student, said the real Naruto and Hinata as they went to assist Iruka with Hanabi, the two spheres of light, Taiyo, and Tasuki behind them. Iruka. Sensei, close your eyes for a second Naruto. There's something I want to give you. When Naruto felt something wrapped around his forehead that caused discomfort in his new fox ears, he closed his eyes and said, "Okay, open them." When Naruto saw that Iruka had changed, he opened his eyes. Naruto realized he was wearing Iruka's headband when he touched his forehead and felt a metal plate encircling the cloth she had placed on him. Iruka gave Naruto a proud smile and said, "You pass." Iruka grinned and said, "Easy Naruto, I'm still injured you know," as Naruto threw her to the ground while crying with delight. A jubilant Naruto wiped away his tears and put his new headband back around his neck like Hinata, saying, "Sorry Iruka. Sensei, I'm just happy that I finally pass." Iruka patted Naruto's head and said, "You deserve it, Naruto." Hanabi joyfully exclaimed, "Daddy passed," as the two spheres cheered beside her. Naruto and Hinata flushed in shame as Iruka said, "I've been meaning to ask about that. Who's she calling daddy?" Naruto, care to explain this? Iruka asked, staring at Naruto like a parent about to discipline his child, to gauge their response. Naruto wiped away his perspiration and scratched the back of his head, saying, It's a long story. Tower of Hokage. Naruto, you certainly do know how to make things interesting. Though I am concerned about this sudden transformation. And why do you have wings? Not just you but Hinata as well? I guess this was the incident Lady Hyuga warned me about. Things will start getting interesting soon, said Sarutobi, laughing as he peered into his crystal ball after witnessing the events that transpired and the humorous antics of Naruto narrating his story. A Jonin invaded Sarutobi's office and exclaimed, "Hokage. Sama, we still haven't located Naruto Uzumaki or the scroll." "It's all right. Iruka found him and the scroll. Ready an Anbu patrol by the entrance to arrest Mizuki for high treason, attempted murder, and for endangering a civilian. He is the true culprit behind this incident tonight," instructed Sarutobi as he left with the Jonin bowing. The forest. After hearing Naruto's story, Iruka sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose, asking, "What am I going to do with you, Naruto?" Hanabi puffed out her cheeks and said, "Daddy is daddy no matter what you say Iruka." "Sensei." The two spheres of light agreed with her. "Hanabi, you already have a dad, and Hinata can't be your mom because she's your sister," Iruka replied. Hanabi frantically waved her arms like a little child and exclaimed, "Onichan raised me like she was my mommy, so she's my mommy, and Onichan was always by Onichan's side helping me and caring for me like a daddy. So Onichan and Onichan are my mommy and daddy." As usual, Naruto calmed Hanabi by rubbing her head and saying, "Easy there, Hanabi. Chan. Iruka. Sensei is just explaining his reason to you." "But you're my dad," Hanabi complained. Iruka was shocked to see that Naruto had a mature side that was ideal for Hanabi's fatherly role as he gazed at the scene in front of him. With Hanabi rubbing her eyes, Hinata giggled, "Hanabi. Chan is just tired after tonight's excitement, that's all. She always gets a little cranky when she's tired." "No I don't," Hinata said. As she knelt down and stroked Hanabi's cheek, Hinata grinned and said, "You haven't changed since you were little Hanabi. Chan. You always get cranky when you get tired, and you would always calm down whenever Naruto-kun rubbed your head." Tasuki approached her and nuzzled her head against Hanabi, causing her and the two spheres to yawn loudly. "You'll carry her so she can rest, Tasuki. Chan." Tasuki motioned to Hinata as she lay down, her armor glowing brightly until it vanished. As Hinata carried Hanabi to Tasuki's butt, she nodded her head and let out a soft squeal. Tasuki fell asleep as soon as Hanabi touched her soft fur, and the two spheres began to change shape. They looked so adorable. Hinata chuckled as the purple sphere transformed back into its humanoid form with butterfly wings, resembling a fairy, and the pink sphere transformed into a small pink fox that was lying down next to Hanabi's head. When Taiyo arrived with his armor glowing brightly as well, Naruto assisted in lifting Iruka. He then motioned his head while lying down and said, "Looks like Taiyo wants to help you too, Iruka, sensei." Iruka grinned and said, "Thanks, Taiyo. I owe you one." While being cautious with his wings, Naruto assisted Iruka in mounting Taiyo. Both Tasuki and Taiyo carefully raised themselves after Iruka was mounted on Taiyo, taking care to avoid making any abrupt movements that might upset their passengers. The sun's starting to rise. I think it would be best to head to the Hokage Tower before everyone wakes up. Last thing we want is to cause panic when they see Tasuki and Taiyo in these forms. Tower of Hokage. The small group was terrified by Taiyo's and Suki's forms, but they made it to the Hokage Tower before the villagers emerged with the Anbu waiting for them by the entrance, removing an unconscious Mizuki that was being carried by Naruto's shadow clones. "So, can someone elaborate what happened tonight?" asked Naruto as he helped Iruka up the stairs until the small group was standing in front of the Hokage, with Taiyo standing next to her in both of their large forms. Hanabi sleeping against Suki's fur with the two ethereal creatures beside her, and Iruka sitting down due to his injuries. According to Naruto, not really, Hokage. Sama, Naruto.kun and IH. Have been H. Hearing this voice in O.RH. Head, A. and at first W. We thought it was a circa coincidence, B. But we H. Heard it again T. Tonight, Hinata with a shiver. I see, a curious Sarutobi said. If it were just Naruto, I would have assumed Kyuubi, but why is Hinata hearing it? Sarutobi thought. A bright light filled the room, and beneath Naruto once more a large circular seal with a crescent moon appeared. When the light went out, everyone covered their eyes and looked around, realizing that they were in a sewer of some sort, with water up to their ankles and pipes on the roof that led in 3 different colors. Alongside Taiyo, Hanabi also made an appearance in their massive forms on top of Tasuki. A male voice said, "I apologize to everyone, I should have warned you about the light." Startled, everyone turned to face the man who was waiting for them when they heard the voice. A startled Iruka questioned, "Aren't you you?" Naruto exclaimed, "I can't be. I thought I made you up," without surprise. "Well, I'm quite real as you can see. I just showed you an image of myself to help you in that transformation tests." Naruto acknowledged Yu's voice and remarked, "You're that voice I heard from that day." "Yes, and I'm quite surprised you caught on quick, although you were rough around some movements, but still not bad for a beginner." "Papa," the fairy exclaimed as she flew directly into Yu's grasp. Yu laughed and said, "You've grown a lot, little one." "Papa," everyone exclaimed in surprise. "I guess you can say that. That egg you found was special, Naruto," Yu replied. Sarutobi interrupted, asking, "What exactly is going on here? Are you Kyuubi?" "No, all will be explained, but first follow me. There is someone else that we need to meet." When the group came to a halt in front of a set of enormous golden bars that were being held back by a tiny piece of paper bearing the kanji for seal, Yu led them through a number of hallways. "Kurama, we're here." "Enough with your antics, Kurama, we have things to do." A large crimson eye with a slit pupil appeared behind Yu, frightening the group. The red eye vanished as someone laughed and emerged from the darkness, saying, "Lighten up, Yu, I'm a fox, I couldn't help myself." The man had long flowing silver hair, silver fox ears, a silver tail with a white tip, and golden eyes. He had on matching martial arts pants and shoes, as well as a white sleeveless yukata that looked like a toga. Sighing, "I thought you were wiser than that." Kurama laughed and said, "Call it a habit I picked up from a friend long ago. That person certainly reminds me of you, Naruto." Naruto laughed in shame and scratched the back of his head. "Daddy." The pink, ethereal fox called as it ran past the bars. As the fox materialized as a white fox with red tips on its ears and tail, Kurama bent down to pick it up. My, look at how big you've grown. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, little one." Laugh, "It's okay. Mommy said it wasn't your fault, and that Daddy would be happy to see me." Laugh, "That sounds like Koto all right, you look exactly like your mother." The little fox, who was about Hanabi's age, giggled and changed into a young girl with green eyes, long white hair with red bangs, white fox ears with red tips, and a long white tail with a red tip. "Mommy says I look more like you, Daddy." "My name is Yuki," she said. The young girl had on a plain white kimono with a black fox pattern. "I can see why, you certainly have your mother's eyes. Do you think you could let me out?" An angry Sarutobi screamed, "You can't be serious, after what you've done, Kyuubi, do you think we would let you out?" Yu approached the seal and tore the paper, revealing a lock mechanism behind it. That's enough, Sarutobi. I promised you that everything would be explained in due time. I'm the one who helped put him behind these bars to control his chakra output. Now that he's regained his consciousness, this cage is no longer needed, Yu said. Wait, you can't. Iruka screamed. With the fairy perched on his shoulder, Yu placed a hand over the lock mechanism and said, believe it or not, I trust Kurama with my life. I already told you that everything will be explained, but first I need Kurama to be free for this part. After that we need to establish a connection. As the cage slowly opened, the sound of locks clicking made his hand glow brightly. Kurama put Yuki down gently and began to crack his neck and stretch his limbs. He groaned, thanks Yu, it was cramped in there. Think nothing of it, now we need to establish a connection. A connection to what exactly? Do you honestly think we would trust two demons? Seeing the group with Iruka and Sarutobi in defensive positions, the two silver-haired men made sure that Naruto, Hinata, Hanabi, Tasuki, and Taiyo were behind them. Sighing, I knew this was going to be difficult. Your actions certainly weren't the most pleasant that night. You can't honestly blame them, said Yu as he approached the group. I suppose it's a little late for introduction, but I assure you I'm no demon. Allow me to introduce the real me. My name is Yu, the Angel of the Moon. Everyone gasped in surprise as Yu's wings materialized behind him. An angel? They asked. Why would a holy being be associated with a demon? Iruka responded. Kurama here has a mutual agreement with heaven, and is also very well respected. He doesn't fight unless provoked, and even so he's quite the fighter. He's given some of our archangels a good workout too, including me. I see no reason for this feud between heaven and the demon world, so I remain neutral despite being a demon myself. I try to avoid bloodshed at all possible. However, that night 12 years ago, something happened that I can't quite remember. The only person who could help me would be my wife. Sarutobi inquired, wherever, here, is the second Kyuubi also present? No, this is Naruto's mind. Kurama and I were sealed inside Naruto only. Naruto questioned, why is it a sewer? This is my mind? Iruka questioned, how are we all able to be here as well? That would be thanks to you here. He's quite well knowledgeable with magic and seals. I've brought you all here to explain the situations that happened on the day of Naruto's birth. Your mind reflects on how you feel, Naruto. The reason why it's a sewer is because of all the hardships you had to endure, and so the end result is everything that you see around you. If this is Naruto's mind and if one Kyuubi is here, where's the second Kyuubi? Iruka responded. I would be happy if you referred to me by my name, Iruka, Kurama said as he glared at Iruka and Sarutobi as he said. Unless you want me to refer to both of you as humans, then I suggest you stop this discriminative behavior. While I'm happy that you both supported Naruto, that doesn't excuse your behavior as reasonable beings. Kurama took a deep breath and bowed respectfully, saying, my name is Yoko Kurama, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, or nine-tailed fox. If you want to, you may refer me as Kurama for short. Iruka and Sarutobi relaxed their stance after realizing that Kurama was correct. It's a pleasure to meet you both here, and Sarutobi, third Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village, and you instructor Iruka Amino. Kurama's formal demeanor and tone astounded both Iruka and Sarutobi, who bowed in return as a formal gesture. As both Kurama and Yu conjured a ball of chakra in their hands, Yu said, now that we've gotten to know each other, we need to connect with the second container. Kurama, I will need your help for this. The fused orb then expanded in size until it formed a sizable portal as a result of Yu and Kurama placing their orbs together. Everyone could see through the portal what appeared to be a complex system of caverns with pipes on the roof. Sarutobi questioned, I've never heard of a second container, who is it? As he entered the portal with Yuki's hand in his, an amused Kurama remarked, I thought it would be obvious, Sarutobi-san, it's Hinata of course. Me? A frightened Hinata asked. How else would you get fox traits and angel wings? Yu asked, holding the fairy in his hand as he entered the portal. While gently massaging Hinata's back and being cautious with her wings, Naruto consoled her. Naruto's mind was left behind as the group carefully passed through the portal. When the group walked in, a woman's voice said, I was wondering when you were going to show up. Red in the face, Iruka said, you mean Layla is also real? Yu questioned, is it really that shocking? As Yu spread his wings and wrapped them around Layla, Layla spread her wings and flew gently in his direction, kissing him on the lips. Naruto and Hinata blushed at the sight, saying, it's wonderful to see you again, my love. I've missed you so much. I have also missed you, my lovely angel, Yu said, holding Layla close to him. Mama! Exclaimed the fairy that hovered beside Layla's gaze. Curling her hands together to allow the fairy to land, Layla giggled softly and said, "You look beautiful, little one. I'm so happy to see you safe and sound." "Auntie Layla, I brought Daddy," Yuki exclaimed, waving her tail with delight. "You did a wonderful job, Yuki-chan. Now let's go see your mother, she's really worried." "So you're lovers?" Sarutobi inquired. "We're also happily married. Everyone please follow me, I will guide you to Koto-chan." Like Naruto, Layla guided the group through the cave maze and led them to a set of golden bars that were held back by a piece of paper bearing the kanji word for seal. "Koto-chan, there's someone here to see you," Layla said. A stunning woman with bright green eyes, short red hair that ended at the nape of her neck, 2 orange fox ears atop her head, and an orange fox tail with a white tip appeared as a figure stepped out of the shadow. Koto was dressed in form-fitting white pants, matching martial arts shoes, and a dark blue sleeveless shirt with a red waist and yellow outline trim. Additionally, Koto's tail was tied with a magenta bow. "Yuki-chan. Darling. Mommy," Yuki exclaimed as she ran past the bars and gave her mother a hug. The paper on the bar doors was torn by Layla, revealing that the lock mechanism was identical to the one Naruto was thinking of. When Layla heard the click of the locks and her hand glowed brightly, she put it on top of the mechanism. When Koto set Yuki down, the bars gradually opened. The group blushed at the show of affection as Koto ran over to Kurama and jumped on him, knocking them both to the ground as the 2 foxes shared a passionate kiss. As the 2 foxes parted ways, Koto nuzzled Kurama's neck and purred with joy, saying, "It's wonderful to have you back, my darling Kurama. I'm sorry for everything." Koto put a finger to Kurama's lips and interrupted, saying, "I already said I forgave you, and we have a beautiful daughter together. So there's no need to apologize, I'm just happy to have you back." Naruto and Hinata blushed as Hanabi exclaimed, "Wow, it looks like Mommy and Daddy are destined to be together. Daddy has the Daddy Angel and Daddy Fox, and Mommy has the Mommy Angel and Mommy Fox. So that means Mommy and Daddy are going to be together." Sarutobi muttered, "When you think about it, it kind of does seem a bit predestined," and Iruka nodded in agreement. "Well, we were very careful in choosing our containers so that they were compatible," Layla said. "But how did you know that Naruto and Hinata?" Layla grinned and said, "Iruka, Sensei, you of all people should know better. A woman has her secrets." With Koto in his arms and their tails entwined, Kurama got up off the ground and said, "Whatever the case, I'm happy to be with my family again." Koto bowed respectfully and said, "Let me introduce myself. My name is Yoko Koto, the Kyuubi no Myobu, the 9-tailed vixen, or just Koto for short. It's a pleasure to meet you both." Yuki hugged her mother's leg and exclaimed, "And I'm Yoko Yuki," as she wiggled her tail in excitement. Layla tickled the fairy in her hand and said, "Dear, our little one also needs a name. What should we call her?" "How about Ruby? A precious gem that can never be replaced," Yu replied. The fairy exclaimed with excitement, "I like it, Mama. I want to be called Ruby. It's Mama's favorite color." Giggle, "Very well then, your name will be Ruby," Layla remarked as the fairy whirled with delight while teasing Yuki and Hanabi. "What do you say we get a change of scenery? Naruto, Hinata, I want you both to concentrate on changing your surroundings. Now that your minds are connected, both of you can change the surrounding to whatever you both want," Yu said to both Naruto and Hinata. The labyrinth of the surrounding cave abruptly gave way to a clearing with trees all around and a light wind blowing through. Hanabi, Yuki, and Ruby are playing together while Taiyo and Tasuki lie down close to a shady area. "Now can someone explain what is going on here?" asked Sarutobi as the rest of the group took seats on a couple of chairs that appeared out of thin air and a big table in front of them. "I suppose we should start from the beginning. Layla and I are God's personal angels, so if we are given orders it means that it came directly from the Almighty. One day God ordered us to intervene on the ceiling of the Kyuubi no Kitsune when we suspected something was wrong. Kurama has never been one to go on a rampage, let alone kill humans on an impulse when we suddenly felt a presence filled with unimaginable hatred," Yu said. "We also felt a strong desire along with that hatred that involved something that is even forbidden by the laws of heaven. Sadly, even we don't know what it is, and the only one who knows is the Almighty, but what we do know is that this man is planning to unleash a power that no one could control," Layla said. "One day I found an intruder near our den, so I told Koto to stay behind. When I entered I saw a man wearing a black robe and a strange mask. That's when I started feeling lightheaded and lost conscious. The next thing I knew I was in my demon form tearing through a village with a strong desire to kill everything in sight. I tried to fight to regain control of my body, but there was this strong power that prevented me from taking control. I remembered Koto appearing trying to stop me, and when she told me that she was pregnant I fought with everything I had to regain control. I wanted to be with my family, I couldn't think of anything more than I wanted than to be with my wife and our unborn baby. Kurama was holding Koto's hand. I remember you entering our den when all of a sudden you appeared in your demon form destroying our den. Then that masked man appeared eyeing me like a piece of meat. The next thing I knew he suddenly vanished and appeared next to me grabbing my neck when he said, "Kyuubi certainly has a beautiful looking mate. Maybe after I'm done I'll keep you as a pet." I felt disgusted by that man when he touched me. I just wanted to skin him alive. He suddenly disappeared once again and so did you in an instant. I knew I had to find you. I knew that I had to find you before something terrible happened, and so I followed your chakra signature to the village where you were going on a rampage. I tried my best to stop you, but Koto stopped telling her story as she broke in tears with Kurama comforting his wife. I don't know if I could ever apologize for that night, and I promise I will make it up to you no matter what. I will never let anyone lay their hands on you like that bastard did, Kurama said as he embraced his spouse more tightly. Darling. After we intervened we gave up half our power, and half of both Kyuubi's power as a sacrifice towards the sealing process. I was sealed first with Kurama where I placed an extra layer of protection to keep him from harming Naruto and myself. After he regained conscious I explained the situation to him and agreed to stay sealed until Naruto was more capable of handling both our chakra, you said. I guess I wanted to be with Naruto even back then, Layla said, making Hinata blush. Of course your mother agreed for you to be the second container. Well, to be more precise Hinata. Shan decided herself to be the container, your mother just voiced your decision. Of course I searched for a second container who was compatible with Naruto-kun. My search led me to little Hinata. Shan. Sarutobi questioned, so why wasn't I informed of Hinata being a container? I asked Hinata, Shan's mother, to keep it a secret from everyone. You and I both knew that Naruto's life would be difficult, and I could sense Hinata. Shan's father isn't quite the understanding type. I wanted someone who would connect with Naruto-kun naturally, and I ended up being sealed inside Hinata. Shan. Since half our power was used as a sacrifice during the sealing process, we decided to fuse our chakra when the time was right, allowing Naruto-kun and Hinata. Shan to become stronger, stated Koto. Sarutobi questioned, why do I feel like you're hiding information? I suppose you can call it more of a hunch. This man that attacked Kurama is considered powerful, and we know that he isn't going to give up on Kurama's power as the Kyuubi. We also know that he'll be after Koto as well for being a Kyuubi. This is the main reason why we wanted both of them sealed. But both Kyuubi's power won't be enough to stop this criminal, so we will also fight alongside them as allies and comrades, you said. I suppose I can accept that as response, but should anything arise I want to be informed, Sarutobi replied. Everyone else agreed with Layla when she said, I guess that's reasonable Sarutobi-san. We'll let you know should anything arise. Looking at the two animals cuddling up to one another, Uruka remarked, I don't suppose you can explain Taiyo and Tasuki as well. Ah yes. Taiyo and Tasuki are Naruto's and Hinata's guardians and partners, you replied. Naruto inquired, how are they guardians? Remember when you started getting chased by a mob, Tasuki was always the one leading the way, steering you out of danger? Kurama responded by nodding his head. Tasuki was always there for you whenever you needed her, and she's your partner much like the Inuzuka boy and his dog. The fusion process also took a while, so that's why we needed Tasuki, Shan and Taiyo-kun to protect you. Both of you would be vulnerable during that time, and Tasuki and Taiyo would be there to protect you, stated Koto. Guardians usually take on the form of an animal that best reflects their partner. In Naruto's case, he's cunning, quick thinking, and has fast reflexes that make him more of a fox, hence Tasuki being a vixen, you said. While Hinata, Shan shows a great deal of inner strength, compassion for others, and would always be loyal to her friends that make her more of a wolf, hence Taiyo being a wolf, Layla stated. I see. This is a lot to process, but I thank you for explaining it to us. I will keep this a secret, but how will they hide their new forms? Replied Sarutobi. I think a simple transformation jutsu would suffice for now until we can establish more about their new forms. What we do know is that they have advanced senses like hearing and smell much like the Inuzuka. Their claws also sharp like kunai, Kurama stated. I think they may have gotten some of our ability as well. I think flight should be the first lesson they learn as well as casting barriers, you said. We can do that, Hinata said. Of course, how else did you think Taiyo and Tasuki were able to hide from your father's Byakugan? But it also takes up a lot of energy to keep that barrier up, Layla replied. Naruto and Hinata both laughed as he said, I guess that's why Taiyo was always hungry. What about Yuki? Shan, I may be sealed inside Hinata. Shan, but Yuki. Shan isn't. She was only sealed with me because I was pregnant with her. Yuki. Chan can easily be kidnapped, or worst she. Calm yourself, Kodo. Chan. I know how you feel. I'm also worried about Ruby. Chan. Even though she isn't my child by blood, she was born from my chakra as well as Yu's chakra. It's very rare to find a spirit egg like Naruto-kun did, but I'm glad that he did, otherwise I wouldn't have met my little Ruby. Chan, laughed Layla. We did promise you that we would find a suitable container for little Yuki, and now that Naruto and Hinata know about us, we can search for a suitable container for both Yuki and Ruby so they don't get lonely, Yu replied. Iruka said, why not just ask Hanabi? Chan. Sarutobi exclaimed, how could you say that, Iruka? She's a child. Well, to be honest, Hokage Sama, Hanabi seems to get along well with Ruby and Yuki. You can't catch me, Ruby. Ni-chan, exclaimed the group as they observed the three girls having fun and laughing. Come on, Ruby. Chan, you'll have to fly faster than that. I'll catch you both, Wanichan. Yuki. Ni-chan, Ruby exclaimed, laughing as she chased after Hanabi and Yuki. It glad to see Hanabi. Chan smiling again. She always feels lonely at the Hyuga estate, Hinata replied. Sarutobi questioned, what do you mean, Hinata? Father has been quite cold towards us lately. He's always forcing Hanabi, Chan and I to spar. I let Hanabi, Chan win because after our spar, father would hit me over and over again for being a failure. I can't let that happen to Hanabi. Chan, she's too precious to me. I be. Binti. Trying M.my best but F. Father A. Always S. Says I'll be N. Nothing M. More than an F. Failure. When Naruto embraced her right away, Hinata was unable to contain her tears and let out all of her frustration. When Iruka and Sarutobi learned that Hyuga was abusing his own daughters and making them harm one another, they were horrified. As Naruto whispered encouraging words into Hinata's ears, she kept crying. Mommy. As she ran toward the group with Yuki and Ruby at her heels, Hanabi noticed Hinata sobbing on Naruto's shoulders. Kurama remarked, and you people compare me to a monster. Sarutobi clenched his fist in rage and yelled, I promise you I will deal with Hiashi personally. I will not tolerate this kind of behavior in my village. Standing kneeling in front of her, Iruka questioned, Hinata, why didn't you say anything? I was scared. Was scared. After leaving their seats, Layla and Kodo went to console Hinata, saying, There, little one. He will no longer hurt you anymore. Hinata hugged them and muttered, Thank you so much. Kodo responded, That's right, and we'll be there to support you if he tries anything. You were there for us in our time of need, Hinata. Chan, now it's time we help you. Hanabi also gave Hinata a consoling hug, and Hinata wiped away her tears as she did so. It's getting late, and there is still a lot to do. Sarutobi, our time here is running out. I've been casting this seal for too long and it's starting to drain me, Yu and Kurama said as they stood beside their mates, with Sarutobi and Iruka behind Naruto. Darling, I could have helped you with the casting, why didn't you say something? I didn't want to burden you, dear. Nonsense, I'll help you, besides, I need help with the sealing process. Sealing? Hanabi inquired. Hanabi. Chan, we've been meaning to ask you this. Would you like to be together with Yuki? Chan and Ruby. Chan, like me and Naruto-kun are with our angels and foxes, replied Hinata. Yes. Did you hear that, Yuki? Chan? Ruby? Chan? We get to be together, Hanabi replied with a joyful smile. While Sarutobi and Iruka perspired at Hanabi's attitude, Yuki and Ruby cheered joyfully, saying, to be young again. I can see Hinata and Hanabi really do take after their mother, Iruka replied. Yuki. Chan, I want you to behave well and listen to what Auntie Layla and Uncle Yu tells you, okay? Okay, Mommy. Ruby. Chan, I want you to take good care of Hanabi, Chan and Yuki. Chan, okay? Okay, Mama. Now in order for this to work, Ruby and Yuki must promise to sacrifice half your powers to balance each other out, but you must do this willingly, Yu explained as Hanabi stood in front of Yu and Layla, with Yuki standing beside her and Ruby hovering on her opposite side. I promise, Uncle Yu. I also promise, Papa. Yu and Layla both appeared with their wings appearing behind them, followed by a large circular seal with a crescent moon in the center and a large circular seal with a sun in the center. As the wind began to pick up speed, a mix of the two seals emerged beneath the three girls, swirling around them. Feeling dizzy, Yu moaned feebly, wasted, too much. Darling. Papa. Kurama. Yu was about to kneel when Kurama showed up to support her. As Yu and Kurama were surrounded by silver chakra, Kurama said, "You've done so much, my friend. Let me help you with this one." Koto was standing beside Layla, glowing as well, when Yu turned to face her. "Thank you, my friend." Two tiny spheres of light flew out of Yuki and Ruby and descended into the seal beneath them, while the large seal continued to glow brightly. A huge gust of wind blew up, engulfing the three girls in a tornado while the seal glowed brightly. The whirlwind dispersed, revealing a changed Hanabi with large black butterfly wings with purple outlines, ivory claws on her hands and feet, two white fox ears on top of her head, with her regular ears gone. A long white tail with a red tip swaying back and forth, and ivory hair that had turned white as it faded into her original brown color near her back. Yuki and Ruby also changed into their spheres of light inside the whirlwind, which once again flew into Hanabi, making her glow brightly. "Yay! Now I'm like mommy and daddy!" exclaimed Hanabi as she ran towards Hinata and gave them both a hug as she gazed at her new features with excitement. A huge circular seal with a star in the center appeared beneath Hanabi, interrupting their celebration. When it dispersed, a small black cat with dark blue butterfly wings in a fetal position was visible. The seal glowed brightly as a large whirlwind flew out of it, forming a small sphere. Hanabi gently grabbed the black cat that was hovering in front of her and opened its eyes to reveal bright blue ones. "Kitty," said Hanabi as she gave her cat a tender embrace as the cat mewed joyfully at her. With Kurama's assistance, Yu sat down on a chair and remarked, "I see Hanabi got her guardian." Koto exclaimed, "It's adorable," as she and Layla petted the cat. One-ichan, Mommy, Daddy, Yuki and Ruby appeared to the group as they ran in the direction of their parents. As Tasuki and Tayo approached the group, they present Yuki and Ruby to their new guardian. The tiny kitten came up to Tasuki and sniffed her before gently lifting itself up on her nose. Tasuki grinned broadly as the kitten climbed on top of her. The kitten placed its front paws on Tayo's nose and Tayo sniffed at it. Not wanting to frighten the kitten, Tayo responded with a little bark as the kitten mewed joyfully. When Tayo gently grabbed the kitten from the scruff of the neck, it lowered itself from Tayo's nose on Tasuki's back once more, landing it on the ground with Tayo nuzzling it while it mewed contentedly. Naruto laughed and said, "It appears that Tasuki-chan and Tayo like Hanabi-chan's new friend." "What are you going to call your new friend Hanabi-chan?" replied Hinata. "I'll call you Aurora-chan," Hanabi said, gently grabbing the kitten and lifting it up. "I don't know." "Aurora-chan?" Haruka wanted to know. When Hanabi said, "Yeah, Aurora-chan is a girl," everyone started to perspire after realizing that she had lifted the cat to determine its gender. While Hanabi giggled and embraced her new kitten, Hinata sighed, "What am I going to do with you, Hanabi-chan?" Actual world back in Sarutobi's office, Haruka, Naruto, Hinata, Hanabi, Tasuki, Tayo, and the recently christened Aurora said, "Well, that was interesting. I'll say." Grown Haruka let out a painful groan as he attempted to stand up, forgetting that he had been hurt in Mizuki's altercation. "Careful, Haruka, you're still injured." "Aurora-chan," chuckled Hanabi, who twitched her fox ears and scratched the back of Aurora's ears, causing the kitten to purr contentedly as she lay against Suki's fur and Tayo nestled against him. "I'll hold off team assignment until tomorrow since we've all had a rough night." "Hokage. Sama, both my daughters have. What is the meaning of this?" Hiashi exclaimed as he rushed through the door upon seeing Hinata and Hanabi with their new features. Hinata and Hanabi shivered in terror and hid behind Naruto as he stood guarded in front of the two girls, while Tayo and Tasuki growled at Hiashi. "Father," they cried. Sarutobi said, "You have a lot of explaining to do as well, Hiashi." "Hokage. Sama, that boy. I think I have more important business with you, Hiashi Hyuga." Sarutobi cut him off. "Hokage. Sama, my daughters have informed me of your so-called training methods, Hiashi. I can very well charge you with child abuse. How I train my daughters is my business, and a parent knows when a child has had enough. Yet after you forced your daughters to spar, you verbally and physically abused your daughter Hinata Hyuga." Sarutobi screamed, causing Hiashi to freeze. "My wife was too soft on them, and yet she was considered one of the most dangerous kunoichi of her time. Or do I need to remind you of her teammates?" said Sarutobi, causing Hiashi to flinch again. "She was just as strong as a fiery redhead that we all know too well. You've changed, Hiashi, and not for the better." Hiashi pointed at Naruto, who glared at him, and exclaimed, "That doesn't explain why my daughters look like him. I believe that's none of your concern, as you were stating earlier. As Hokage, I hereby charge you with child abuse, assault, harmful intention against a child, and sentence you trial." "You can't, that will ruin the Hyuga's reputation," Humph. Perhaps you should have thought of that before you did what you did. All of the evidence points against you, Hiashi, and since your daughter is now officially a ninja, I can add treason to your list of charges. When Hiashi concluded that there was only one option, he growled silently in response to Sarutobi's statement, "What if I make you a deal? I could." You're in no position to be asking anything, Hiashi. If you want to keep your precious Hyuga reputations intact, then I suggest you give up your custody of Hinata and Hanabi Hyuga. Surrender your seat in the Ninja Council. Surrender a portion of your fortune to both your daughters, and maybe I'll consider letting you keep your precious Hyuga reputation intact. But, it's not up for debate, Hiashi. Either accept my terms and the consequences that come with it, or suffer a public humiliation, replied Sarutobi. Hiashi looked for a way out of his predicament, but he had to grudgingly concur. Very well then. Good. Then I want you to inform those elders of yours that Hinata and Hanabi Hyuga are hereby under my protection by law, and should you or your esteemed elders try to put that caged bird seal on either of them, they will be charged with high treason and executed on the spot. Should any of your elders, or you, send any Hyuga ninja, or anyone that is associated to the Hyuga, will also be charged with treason, and you and your elders will be taken into custody, tortured, and executed. To put it simply, if I even suspect you or the Hyuga elders are behind some form of foul play, I'll make you regret you ever born. Threatened the Hokage, releasing so much killer intent that it even made Iruka sweat. So this is the legendary professor of the Hidden Leaf. Despite his advanced age, Hokage Sama remains a formidable foe. Sarutobi's statement made Hiashi flinch nervously, and the fact that he simply nodded implied that he had subjugated both him and the Hyuga elders. Hiashi gave Naruto a final glare as he walked out of Sarutobi's office. Well, I'm glad I was able to help in some way, but there is still one last unfinished business. Your mother's will, Sarutobi said, turning to the three recently appointed genin as he watched Naruto console Hinata and Hanabi as they sobbed with relief that they no longer had to worry about their father or the elders attempting to harm them. Your mother had a knack for preparation, and so before she died she drew up a will for the three of you. Your mother had a separate bank account for the three of you that contains a small fortune along with a small apartment already paid off, and some scrolls for each of you. Think of these as gifts for you to do as you please from your mother, Sarutobi said, pointing to Hinata and Hanabi. And your godmother, he said, pointing to Naruto. My what? A startled Naruto questioned. Sarutobi said, that's all I can tell you, Naruto. She was a good friend of your parents, and so your mother asked her to be your godmother before you were born. She was very excited when she received the news, and that's why she asked you to call her Auntie. Naruto was crying both happy and sad tears. I've always wondered about my parents. Now I know that they were good people if Auntie was friends with them. She was always there to help me, and I didn't even know. Thank you, Auntie, said Naruto as he wiped his eyes. The Hokage pulled out a small box with Hanabi's name on it and said, here is the address to your new home. You can move in whenever you like. Ah, before I forget, this was meant for you, Hanabi. When Hanabi opened the box and revealed a silver necklace with an amethyst jewel in the middle that resembled Naruto's and Hinata's bracelet, Hinata recognized her mother's handwriting right away. Mama, muttered Hanabi as he admired the necklace. After putting the necklace around Hanabi, Hinata said, let me help you with that, Hanabi-chan. There, all finished. Hanabi was thankful for her mother as Taiyo and Tasuki nuzzled her. She had a piece of her now, even if she didn't remember her very well. In addition to the key to their new appointment, Naruto and Hinata were given Hinata's mother's scroll, which read, be sure to rest up. Tomorrow is team placement, and we don't want any of you to feel tired. Naruto joyfully led Hinata and Hanabi out the door after saying, we will, thanks old man. With circular seals beneath them, Tasuki and Taiyo once more wrapped their wings around their bodies. Taiyo and Tasuki returned to their tiny forms as soon as their wings opened. As Hinata lifted Taiyo into her arms, Tasuki ascended to Naruto's shoulder and wrapped her tail around his neck like a scarf. When Aurora's tiny butterfly wings vanished, Hanabi held her tenderly in her arms, transforming her into a typical black cat. As they walked back to Naruto's apartment to get some of his belongings, Hanabi, Hinata, and Naruto also used a transformation jutsu to look like their normal selves. Their new apartment, which was larger than Naruto's, had 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it was already furnished with supplies and furniture. Hanabi even discovered tiny beds for Aurora, Taiyo, and Tasuki. As they dropped their genjutsu and made the decision to get some much needed rest, the three of them kept admiring their new home. That evening, Naruto-kun. Naruto had just finished brushing his teeth when he noticed Hanabi in their pajamas, her butterfly wings folded down by the doorway, and Hinata with her wings gently wrapped around her body. Can you sleep with us just for tonight, please? Naruto asked. With large puppy dog eyes, Naruto asked Hanabi, "Please daddy?" as he blushed at Hinata's request and prepared to argue back. Sighing, "Fine. I just can't win against you two, can I?" "Nope," said a joyful Hanabi. The following day, after training with their angels and foxes in their Mindscape, Naruto, Hinata, and Hanabi woke up feeling rejuvenated. After a few hours, the three of them were able to figure out how to fly and conceal their wings after a crash course that included several crash landings. Additionally, the three of them learned how to cast barriers that will fend off minor attacks until they practiced strengthening them. When Hinata realized that Hanabi was in the middle, hugging her, Naruto and Hinata had their wings wrapped around each other, causing them to blush. Giggle. Hanabi. Chan, time to wake up. Come on Hanabi. Chan. Hinata. Chan and I need to go to the academy to find out what teams we're in. Hanabi moaned as she tucked herself further into Hinata's embrace, unwilling to wake up or let go of the warm, comforting feeling she was experiencing. Murmur. 5 more minutes daddy. As Hanabi grudgingly woke up, Hinata stroked her hair and said, "Come on, Hanabi. Chan. Naruto.kun and I need to go. But I don't have any class today." Naruto rubbed Hanabi's head and said, "Old man Tucci and Ayame. Ni-chan are going to take care of you today, so I want you to be on your best behavior for them, okay?" Together, Hinata and Hanabi took a shower, Naruto used the second bathroom, and the three of them got out of bed and brushed their teeth. They each took care to wash their new features properly and with caution. Rode at random after the three of them told Ayame and Tucci what had happened the night before and showed them their new features. Naruto and Hinata had completed dropping Hanabi off, and Ayame had immediately embraced Hanabi. "Do you think Hanabi Chan will be alright? Don't worry Hinata. Chan. It's not like Ayame. Ni-chan's going to dress her up like some kind of doll and make her work." "Ramen Ichiraku. Welcome to Ichiraku Ramen Onichan," said Hanabi, dressed like Ayame, a small waitress with her wings retracted, her white hair tied in a ponytail, a bandana covering her ears, and her tail hidden beneath her skirt. Some of the customers blushed at Hanabi's appearance because she looked so adorable. "How was that Wanichan?" "Giggle. Stop Wanichan, it tickles." Ayame hugged Hanabi and squealed, "You're just so cute." Hanabi giggled as Ayame held her head in her cheek. Rode at random as Hinata laughed at Naruto's remark, he perspired and scratched his cheek, saying, "At least, I hope Ayame Ni-chan doesn't do that." The academy. After evading some of Hinata's fanboys, Naruto and Hinata entered their classroom and sat down together at the far end, Taiyo and Tasuki resting on their laps. "Naruto, what are you doing here?" "This is for the people that passed," a weary Shikamaru said. "I did pass Shikamaru. See the headband?" Naruto asked, gesturing to the spot on his neck where the headband was. Shikamaru muttered, "Troublesome," as he went to nap at his usual desk. Naruto.kun. Hinata whimpered. "I see. Can feel T. Their H. Hatred. It M. Makes me F. Feel S. Sick," whimpered Hinata, pulling Taiyo closer to her chest as he turned to face Sasuke, who was staring at Naruto and eyeing her like a piece of meat. As Hinata relaxed under Naruto's warmth, he hugged her and said, "I won't let them touch you, Hinata. Chan, it's okay. I'm feeling anxious, but I made a promise to confess," Naruto thought, "Hinata. Chan." Naruto. Wham! Sakura abruptly struck Naruto in the head, interrupting him. "What did I do?" Ao asked. "You're not allowed to be here. You failed." With I passed declaration, Naruto showed her his neckband. "You stole it from someone. There's no way a loser like you could pass." Iruka hobbled in with a cane to support him and yelled, "That's enough. Sakura." Naruto Uzumaki passed as of yesterday. Naruto was promoted to Genin when he caught Mizuki trying to steal a valuable and dangerous artifact from the Hokage's vault. These are the orders of Lord Hokage. The fact that Mizuki had betrayed the village shocked the class, but even more shocking was the fact that the person who caught him was the last to die. Naruto kept cradling Hinata in his reassuring embrace while Kiba and Sasuke scowled at him. "So now we will begin team placements. Team 1. While Iruka was still announcing the teams, Naruto muttered, "Hinata. Chan, there's something I want to ask you." "What is it Naruto.kun?" As he blushed, Naruto stammered, Would you, I mean, if you like, I am. Mean? Hinata wondered what was making him so anxious. "Screw it, Hinata. Chan, would you go out with me?" he said, closing his eyes and swallowing nervously. When Naruto didn't hear back, he slowly opened one eye to see a blushing Hinata swaying back and forth before Naruto caught her as she fainted. When he focused his chakra on overlaying Hinata with a new transformation, He saw that her transformation was about to be undone. "Are you okay, Hinata-chan?" Hinata asked, slowly opening her eyes and staring at Naruto as he finished transforming her, feeling his chakra slightly spike. "Why? Yes, to be. Both Q. Questions," Hinata said, raising herself slightly and kissing Naruto in the cheek without releasing his gaze. "She's so cute," Naruto said, blushing. Pressing their foreheads together, Naruto and Hinata gazed affectionately into each other's eyes. Hinata and Naruto both leaned forward until their lips met and they shared their first kiss. Team 7 will consist of Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha. Iruka was interrupted by Sakura, who exclaimed, "Huh? Take that Ino.pig, true love rules." When several girls began arguing over why they should be on Sasuke's team, Iruka commanded, "Sit down, Sakura. All of you be quiet or I'll fail you right here and now." "And Naruto Uzumaki," Iruka said, causing him to look up from his roster when he saw the newlyweds kissing. "Oh dear." Iruka moaned silently as the fangirls sat down and glared at Sakura. They picked a swell time to do this. Iruka mused to herself as everyone turned around and saw the newlyweds share their first kiss, making everyone go crazy with their mouths almost touching the ground. Sakura screamed, "Naruto, you idiot! What are you doing to Hinata? You're supposed to be in love with me, remember?" As Naruto and Hinata parted ways, their foreheads still pressed together, enjoying each other's company. Kiba screamed, "Hey loser, what are you doing to my girl?" When the boys and girls began arguing over who was better than Hinata, Sasuke yelled, "What makes you think you're any better, loser? She's my bride." Iruka then yelled, "What did I just say?" And everyone was silenced. Sakura's outburst startled both Naruto and Hinata, briefly distracting Naruto from Hinata's metamorphosis, but no one else noticed, save for one person who asked, "What was that?" Sasuke asked in his head. "As I mentioned earlier, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto will make up Team 7, Iruka declared once more. As he held Hinata closer to him, Naruto also had a dejected expression on his face. I won't get to be Naruto-kun, Hinata thought. While Iruka called out the next team, Hinata changed herself again so Naruto wouldn't have to stand by them both. Team 8 will consist of Shino Aburame, Kiba Inuzuka with his partner Akamaru, and Hinata Hyuga, Iruka said. "Yeah, you hear that, losers? Hinata is mine. Looks like I win and you also lose, Uchiha," exclaimed Kiba. Iruka yelled, "Sit down, Kiba," and Kiba immediately sat down. Team 9 is still in rotation from last year, and Team 10 will consist of Ino Yamanaka, Shoji Akamichi, and Shikamaru Nara. "That is all," Iruka said. "To think we would be paired up with the people we don't want to be with." Hinata and Naruto clung to one another, seeking solace in each other's arms. "This is unfair." When the classroom door abruptly opened and Sarutobi entered, Naruto shouted in his head. A startled Iruka said, "Lord Hokage, how can I help you today?" "Actually, it's about the team placement. Since the capture of Mizuki with the help of Naruto and Hinata, we've been doing some investigation. It would appear that Mizuki was the one tampering with Naruto's grades. Upon closer inspection, it would appear that Naruto's final score was several points under Hinata. With that under consideration, I'm rearranging teams 7 and 8. "What?" Kiba exclaimed. With a firm tone, Sarutobi asked, "Is there a problem, Kiba Inuzuka?" Kiba reluctantly sat down and said, "No sir." "Good," Sarutobi said, startling the entire class as Naruto and Hinata went to sign the documents. "As of right now, Team 7 will be arranged to Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Kiba Inuzuka, and Team 8 will consist of Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga, and Naruto Uzumaki. I also need Hinata and Naruto to come down and sign these documents stating that from this point on Taiyo and Tasuki are no longer classified as pets, but ninja canine partners to Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Hyuga." "I am in agreement with Hinata-chan," Naruto cheered in his head. "After all, I get to spend time with Naruto-kun," Hinata cheered in her head. "Wait, why am I being transferred? Due to Naruto's new score, you, Kiba Inuzuka, are the one with the lowest test score while Sasuke Uchiha has the highest along with Sakura Haruno. So in order to keep the team balanced, the one with the lowest test score gets transferred to Team 7, with your previous spot available. Will that be a problem, Kiba?" Sarutobi asked with a firm tone. "No sir," said a vanquished Kiba. "Good, now if you'll excuse me I'll be taking my leave. Hinata and Naruto, I want you to meet me in my office after meeting your sensei." "That is all," Sarutobi said as he left. Iruka hobbled out and said, "Your new sensei will arrive shortly, good luck." Sakura abruptly walked up to Naruto and Hinata, who were enjoying each other's company, asking, "What is the meaning of this, Naruto? You're supposed to love me." Naruto became enraged with Sakura and said, "What's wrong with you, Sakura? I thought you of all people would be happy that I'm dating Hinata? That's not the point, idiot. It's impossible from liking me to liking Hinata. Besides, she's probably only doing this to get more of Sasuke-kun's attention." Hinata said, "But I don't like Sasuke-san. See, she can't even say a single sentence without stuttering." Slap. "Let's get one thing straight, you pink howler monkey. I never loved you. I never even liked you. I was just faking it knowing that you would always reject me. I always loved Hinata, but I couldn't confess to her because she's practically a princess. She's sweet, kind, gentle, and one of the most caring people I've ever met, unlike you, Sakura. You're nothing but a loud, whiny, selfish, sorry excuse for a kunoichi that I've ever seen. If you want to insult me and call me names, that's fine, but if you ever insult Hinata-chan, I'll make sure you suffer for even thinking about it," Naruto said, shocking everyone once more. Naruto-kun, a blushing Hinata thought. Naruto led Hinata out of the classroom by holding her hand gently. Tasuki and Taiyo trailed closely behind, but Naruto abruptly stopped after turning a corner and said, "Sorry about that, Hinata-chan. I didn't mean to embarrass." Hinata interrupted Naruto's tirade with a sudden kiss, saying, "Thank you, Naruto-kun." As they kissed again, Naruto embraced Hinata and said, "I always did love you, Hinata-chan, I meant every word of it." Naruto said, "We should probably head back right now," and Hinata agreed, kissing him again as they heard a yip and squeal of excitement. When Naruto and Hinata noticed their now official partners wagging their tails and staring at them with joy, they said, Okay, we get it. You're also happy that we're together, right?" To which Tasuki and Taiyo responded with a yip and a squeal in agreement. Giggle Hinata said, "I imagine when we tell Hanabi-chan." Everyone was staring at Naruto and Hinata when they returned to the classroom, and their reactions were mixed. "Hey Ino, mind if we sit here?" asked Naruto as Sakura glared at the newlyweds as they passed her and took a seat next to Ino. Then Ino moaned, "Go ahead." Hinata questioned, What's wrong, Ino-chan? That damn forehead is on Sasuke's team while I'm stuck with the lazy bum and tubby," Ino complained. "What did you do make him like you, Hinata? Better yet, what did you eat to get that body?" Hinata clarified, I just did regularly, trained every day, after observing that a few of the girls were listening in after hearing Ino's inquiries. "Seriously, Hinata, what did you do?" "She's telling the truth, Ino. Hinata and I basically trained every day, and we would always eat regular food. You can even ask Hanabi-chan," Naruto replied. "All right, then don't tell me," Ino moaned once more. "Actually, there is something I've been meaning to ask you, Ino. I've been thinking of starting a garden, and I really could use some of your expertise. So do you think you can help?" replied Naruto. "I guess that depends on what kind of flower you're planning on growing, and you also have to be careful on the type of plant you choose. I can tell you more at the shop one of these days if you ever pass by," Ino said while ignoring Sasuke for a moment. When Ino suddenly realized something, Naruto said, "Thanks, I appreciate it. When did Naruto become good looking?" Hinata was truly fortunate, I suppose. Might I have misjudged Sasuke? As each Jonin arrived to pick up their designated team, two alluring women would abruptly enter the room. The first lady had long, black hair that reached her shoulders, wild hair, and exotic red eyes that seemed capable of hypnotizing anyone. She also wore purple eyeshadow and red lipstick. On top of her red meshimur blouse, which only showed the right sleeve, she had what looked like bandages wrapped around her hand and upper thighs, a headband around her forehead, and what appeared to be bandages wrapped around her sleeve. The second woman wore red lipstick, had chocolate brown eyes, and straight purple hair that reached her waist. The woman had a katana strapped to her back and was dressed in a typical Jonin outfit. All of the boys stared as the two women entered the room. "Team 8, come with us," the red-eyed woman said. "Kurenai. Sensei?" Hinata asked. As she led Team 8 to the rooftop, Kurenai grinned and said, "It's great to see you again, Hinata. I'm glad I was chosen to be your sensei." Rooftop. "Alright. Why don't we start with introductions? I'll start off. My name is Hyuga Uzuki. My likes are practicing my sword style, spending time with my lover, and looking at the moon. My dislikes are perverts, and ninja who think kunoichi aren't as serious as shinobi. My dreams are, well, you're still too young to understand," said Hyuga as she introduced herself. "I'll go next. My name is Kurenai Yuhi. My likes are training, sake, vodka, spending time with my friends, making up new genjutsu, and takawasa. My dislikes are perverts, stuck-up shinobi, and cake. My dream is to be one of the top genjutsu specialists in all of the elemental nations, stated Kurenai. Now let's go with you, Naruto. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My likes are Hinata, Chan, Hanabi, Chan, Tasuki, Chan, Taiyo, Ramen, everyone that is precious to me, and my auntie who passed away. My dislikes are the 3 minutes I have to wait for my ramen, the people who say bad things about me, and arrogant people who think are better than anyone. My dream is to be like the Hokage, and protect everyone who is precious to me, said Naruto as Tasuki jumped on his shoulder purring with joy. Hyuga exclaimed, "Oh, she's so adorable. Can we pet her?" As Hyuga held Tasuki in her arms and stroked her fur, Naruto nodded. Kurenai placed Taiyo on her lap and petted him tenderly, saying, "You're next, Hinata." My name is Hinata, H. Hyuga, the stuttered Hinata said, hesitant to say, Hyuga. My dislikes are bad people, p. people who bully others, and s. Seeing n Naruto. G. Getting h. hurt. My dream, Hinata blushed suddenly at the scene playing in her head, almost fainting. Hyuga giggled and said, "Easy there, Hinata, let's not get carried away." "You're the last Shino," Kurenai declared. "My name is Shino Aburame. My likes are my bugs. My dislikes are spiders and mosquitoes, and my dream is private," stated Shino. Confused and unsure of what to say, Hyuga remarked, "That was interesting to say the least. Now that we've finished the introductions, I must inform you that your genin exams are tomorrow at precisely 8 o'clock, Kurenai said, receiving confused looks from Naruto and Hinata but not from Shino. "But Kurenai, Sensei, didn't we already pass the genin exam?" replied Naruto. "Not quite. That was just to weed out the weak from the hopefuls. Being a ninja is serious business, and if a person is not willing to lay down their life, then they shouldn't be a ninja," Hyuga replied. "The real test is much more challenging than that, and has a 66% chance of failing, so as you can see it is quite hard. But if you pass, you get to have us as your senseis," Kurenai said. Shino pushed up his sunglasses and said, "I've been meaning to ask. Why do we have 2 senseis?" "It's something Lord Hokage is testing out. Look at it this way, Kurenai excels in genjutsu and ninjutsu while I excel in taijutsu and kenjutsu, so this actually gives you guys a wide variety of different fields to choose from," Hyuga said. "We will meet in training ground 8 at 8 o'clock sharp, so don't be late. A word of caution. Skip breakfast tomorrow. You'll just throw it up," Hyuga said, and the two of them vanished in a cloud of smoke. Shino said as she descended the stairs, "I'll be going home as well." A curious Naruto said, "Let's go pick up Hanabi Chan from Old Man Tucci. I wonder how her day was." Ramen Ichiraku. As the entrance to Ichiraku Ramen was packed with patrons, Naruto stood there with enormous bug eyes and his mouth touching the ground. What's going on here?" he asked. Didn't know that Ichiraku our ramen was this popular," replied Hinata. A hysterical Naruto sobbed waterfall tears and exclaimed, But, my ramen, I finally got my coupons from Iruka. Sensei, my ramen, it's going to take forever to get inside. I don't even like waiting the 3 minutes it takes for my ramen. What do I do?" Hinata asked innocently. Do you like ramen more than m.me Naruto.kun? "What? No, not at all, Hinata. Chan, I like you more, I promise." Naruto blushed as Hinata interrupted his tirade by kissing him on the cheek and giggling. Was joking Naruto.kun. Love Ichiraku our ramen as well, and we need to pick up Hanabi Chan. Kurama laughed and said, "Looks like you're beginning to rub off on your vixen Naruto." Kodo laughed and said, "If my memory serves me well, you were also like that, darling." With Naruto and Hinata blushing at their fox's remarks, Kurama remarked, "That's because I love my beautiful vixen, dear." "Hold on, I hear Kodo now," Naruto thought. Kurama clarified, "Of course, you can always communicate with us as long as we're connected." When Hinata and Naruto looked at each other and realized they could hear each other's thoughts, Hinata said, "Amazing. Why don't you transform into us this time so we can act as Hanabi's parents? We'll inform Yuki," Chan told Kodo. With their features gone, Naruto and Hinata turned into Kurama and Kodo and said, "Now let's go pick up our daughter." "Right behind you, darling." When Kurama and Kodo arrived at Ichiraku Ramen, They caused a commotion in the line by skipping everyone. Some of the female patrons blushed when they saw Kurama, and the men gawking at Kodo. "Mommy! Daddy!" exclaimed an excited Hanabi, capturing everyone's attention without realizing that Tasuki and Taiyo had moved to the rear of the ramen stand. "That's Hinata and Naruto. When they showed us their transformation, they didn't look like that," Ayame thought. "Glad to see you again, old man Tucci. Hope Hanabi-chan wasn't too much trouble," Kurama replied. "Not at all, old friend. In fact, I'm willing to babysit her anytime you want," laughed Tucci. Ayame laughed and gave Hanabi a hug, saying, "Thanks to Hanabi-chan, our customer value has tripled thanks to this cutie." I was correct. Naruto was sweating profusely after Ayame-chan dressed her up and put her to work. "I guess it could be worse," Hinata thought. "Wanichan, it still tickles." Hanabi squealed as Ayame said, "Now I'm going to prepare a whole new wardrobe for you, Hanabi-chan," as Hanabi laughed. "It's the worst," Naruto thought. "I wonder if I can make new clothes for Ruby-chan," replied Layla. "I wonder if I can help Yuki-chan in the same way," Kodo thought. Hinata thought, "Hanabi-chan does look cute." Tucci made a fresh batch of ramen for them and said, "I'll make you an order to go as payment for Hanabi's help." "Thanks, old man, I appreciate it." Kodo, carrying Hanabi, said, "Thank you for everything, Tucci-san, Ayame-chan," as they heard a mew that alerted them to Tasuki and Taiyo leaving from behind with Aurora on Taiyo's back. The three of them then grabbed their ramen and left, disappointing many customers who had come to see Hanabi. Naruto and Hinata, along with Hanabi, changed back into their disguised forms after a considerable amount of distance as they made their way to the Hokage Tower. Tower of Hokage. While Sarutobi was occupied with his paperwork, someone knocked on the door and said, "Come in." Tasuki, Taiyo, and Aurora followed Naruto, Hinata, and Hanabi as they entered the office. "You wanted to see us, old man?" they asked. "Yes, it's about Hanabi. Since you and Hinata are now considered ninjas, you are also considered adults, which gives you the right to legally adopt Hanabi," Sarutobi replied. With her tail wagging with excitement, an excited Hanabi asked, "Really? I get to have Wanichan and Onichan as my real mommy and daddy?" She unintentionally dropped her disguise. "Hanabi-chan, your transformation. Oh, sorry mommy." Laugh. "Well, why not sign the adoption papers to make it official then?" "I don't mind, if you don't mind as well, Hinata-chan." Not at all Naruto.kun. Hanabi exclaimed, "Yay, I finally get my mommy and daddy." The apartment of Naruto and Hinata, with Naruto taking the second room and Hinata and Hanabi sharing the third, the three of them agreed to get ready for bed. The three of them abruptly fell asleep and said good night to one another. The Mindscape. After entering their Mindscape once more, Naruto and Hinata confronted their foxes and angels, saying, "Welcome back. This time we will be teaching you our own personal style of weaponry." "Really? Awesome!" Naruto exclaimed. "You and I will be teaching you how to use archery, as well as our personal sword style. I use twin wakizashi swords while you uses twin katanas. After that Kurama and I will show you how to make weapons using regular plants that Kurama and I use," said Kodo. An anxious Naruto remarked, "Something tells me this isn't going to be easy." Kurama laughed, "You can bet it isn't either. Let's get started," you said. Ayame immediately grabbed Hanabi and began mixing and matching different types of wardrobes for her to wear, as well as a small matching outfit for Aurora, which made Naruto feel a little uneasy with Tucci and Hinata laughing at his antics. The following day, Naruto, Hinata, and Hanabi, along with Tasuki, Taiyo, and Aurora, woke up, happily eating their breakfast, and went to drop Hanabi off at Ichiraku Ramen. What's wrong in Naruto.kun? Hinata asked as the couple strolled down the street, noticing Naruto seemed to be lost in thought. Naruto scratched behind Suki's ears after she climbed on top of his shoulder, saying, "Oh, it's nothing really. It's just, I feel like we forgot something. Something we were supposed to do, or not do, or something." When they both looked shocked, Hinata said, "Now that you mention it," as she picked Taiyo up off the ground. "We weren't supposed to eat breakfast." Both Naruto and Hinata yelled at once. What do we do, Naruto.kun? We couldn't just leave Hanabi-chan hungry. And besides we totally forgot," said a frantic Hinata. When he was abruptly struck to the ground by an unseen force while holding a big bump on his head, Naruto exclaimed, "Aw man. And we can't blame you or Kurama since this was totally their fault for keeping us up late at night. How do you blame a sealed angel and fox that are inside you?" Blaming it on your elders isn't exactly the best thing to do, Naruto. Especially when those elders can hear you. With Naruto down in front of Kurama and you, Naruto and Hinata were abruptly drawn into their shared mindscape. Honestly, young man, we try to show you how to control our power, and you go and pin the blame on us. Just what do you have to say for yourself? Kurama said as he approached Naruto and abruptly pulled on his cheeks. A moaning Naruto said, alright, I get it, I'm sorry, now can you please stop doing that? As Kurama ceased pinching his cheeks. Kodo laughed and said, it's like watching a father reprimand his son. Layla grinned and remarked, it's good to see that they get along. A puzzled Hinata remarked, but how did they hit Naruto-kun? I thought all of you were sealed. Layla grinned and Kodo nodded in agreement, saying, some things are just unexplainable, Hinata-chan, which made Hinata start to perspire. Really, Naruto, you should try to show a little more respect for us. Besides, your senseis said that it was a suggestion, not an order, which means that you don't have to necessarily follow it if you don't want to. Yu said with his arms raised. Seems to me like this might be part of their test. I wouldn't put it past them if this was some kind of tactic used to teach them a lesson, Kurama said. Ingenious, in my opinion, Kodo remarked. Right now, however, they do need to hurry or they will be late. Now run along, you two, stated Layla. Hinata said, Thank you, Layla.san and Kodo.san. Come now, Hinata, we've known each other for so long that you don't need to use honorifics. When the two of them returned to reality, Kodo grinned and said, yeah, just call us by our names. Loosen up a bit, we'll always be here for you. Hinata grinned and said, let's go, Naruto-kun, we don't want to be late. As Naruto gazed at her in wonder, Hinata blushed and asked, what is it, Naruto-kun? With Hinata's blush deepening, Naruto remarked, you sound cute when you don't stutter, Hinata-chan. Really? Hinata squeaked in surprise as Naruto put his arm around her waist and pulled her toward him. He gave her a tight hug and said, really, Hinata-chan? You know, you sound cute even with your stutter. I love you, Hinata-chan. After giving Naruto-kun a quick, affectionate kiss, Hinata exclaimed, love you too. We better get moving or our senseis will kill us for being late. Ground of Training Shino was waiting for Hinata and Naruto under a tree, gazing at a fly that had landed on his fingernail when they reached their assigned training area. Naruto said, morning, Shino. With a sly smile, Hinata bowed courteously and said, good morning, Shino-kun. Shino said, you're late, which caused Hinata and Naruto to perspire. Yeah, we got held up by something, Naruto replied. Hinata said, sorry. After realizing that Shino was correct, Naruto and Hinata turned to look around. Both our senseis are late as well. Consider it a blessing that you came before them, Shino said. With Taiyo and Tasuki stretching their limbs after being placed on the ground, Naruto said, I guess you're right, Shino. Looks like we got a lucky break, Hinata-chan. Hinata also smiled. An hour later, Kurenai and Hyuga were on the roof of a nearby building, keeping watch over their students while they waited for their test to begin. Think we waited long enough, Kurenai-chan? Hyuga asked. I think so, I don't want to get a reputation like Kakashi after all, Kurenai replied. Tell me about it, Kakashi. Senpai really needs to work on his timing, Hyuga replied. It's ironic when you think about it since we're using one of his idea to do this. As they both vanished in a cloud of smoke, Kurenai remarked, true, but what's the harm of adding our own little twist into his idea? Ground of Training sitting on the ground, Shino was examining an insect on his finger when he became aware that Taiyo and Tasuki were observing him with interest. As Shino slowly extended his hand, the insect on his finger fluttered away, and Taiyo and Tasuki began sniffing it with curiosity. After seeing a swarm of insects begin to emerge from beneath his sleeve, both of them abruptly retreated from him. Shino slowly withdrew his hand to observe the swarm before it abruptly retreated back into his sleeve. Hey Shino, what's with the bugs? Are they like your partners as well or something? Replied Naruto. Something like that, Shino remarked, turning to face Naruto, who was leaning against a tree with Hinata cozy in his arms. You're not acting like your usual self, Naruto, he said. How so? Shino said, you seem more calm, which caused Naruto to perspire, and Hinata to giggle quietly in response. Shino said, glancing back at Taiyo and Tasuki, they keep staring. They're just curious about you. After all, since we'll all be working together, they just want to know a little more about you, said Naruto. Though they seemed to be loyal to Hinata and Naruto, Shino thought, My buds tell me that they're emitting a strange kind of chakra unlike other canines like Akamaru. But what exactly are they? Our senseis seem to have arrived, Shino said as 2 puffs of smoke revealed Kurenai and Hyuga. Shino's thoughts were interrupted when a fly buzzed by his ear in a formation. I guess this will have to wait, Shino thought. We apologize for being late, everyone, Hyuga said. Kurenai grinned and said, there was something that we needed to attend to. Hyuga and Kurenai pulled out silver bells and said, but now we can begin. Your test is pretty easy. As you can see, Kurenai, Chan and I each have a silver bell, and it's your job to get one of our bells. Should you manage to get one of our bells, you pass the test. Hinata said, B. But Hyuga, Sensei, there's only T.2 bells. Kurenai shocked Naruto, Hinata, and Shino by saying, which means one of you will fail, and go back to the academy. Based on the abrupt twitch of his eyebrow, Kurenai deduced that he was saying, you have until noon, which is when this timer will go off. If none of you have a bell, then you all fail. Hyuga said gravely, begin, don't think we'll also make this easy on you, so you better come with the intention to kill. Kurenai remarked, seems that they're quite good at hiding, after Hyuga signaled the 3 recently hired genin to disappear into the forest around the training field. Hyuga laughed and pulled her sword out, asking, shall we set up our own defense as well? Kurenai grinned triumphantly and said, already did. The forest, looks like they're pretty serious about this, said Naruto, who was hiding up in a tree and looking down at his 2 senseis after observing Hyuga withdrawing her sword. With Tasuki on his shoulder and her ears perking up, Naruto whispered, what are they up to? Hey Tasuki. Chan, want to give it a go? Naruto asked, and Tasuki gave him a little squeal of approval. Hyuga remarked, well, this is new, as Naruto leapt from the tree in front of his 2 senseis, who were both staring at him bewildered. Although I wouldn't count the direct approach the wisest choice, Kurenai replied. Let's go Tasuki. Chan. As they rushed toward the bells, Naruto and Tasuki exclaimed, Tasuki. Chan, take Hyuga. Sensei's bell, I'll go for Kurenai. Sensei's. When Naruto saw that Hyuga's image seemed a little warped, he pulled out a kunai, ready to defend himself, and Tasuki vanished from view. What? Asked Naruto, realizing that Tasuki had just phased through Kurenai, as he reappeared behind Hyuga, staring at her bewildered. What the? Nice try Naruto, said the 3 Kurenai simultaneously as Hyuga and Kurenai abruptly vanished into thin air, to be replaced by 3 more Kurenai and 3 more Hyuga. The 3 Hyuga said, but not good enough, after one of them vanished and then reappeared behind him. When the other 2 Hyugas attacked, Tasuki attempted to tackle the Hyuga behind Naruto but was thwarted and ended up tackling Naruto instead. A second Hyuga struck Naruto hard from behind after he locked blades with one of their swords, and a third Hyuga swept him to the ground, all 3 of them staring down at him and saying, better luck next time, Naruto. One of the Hyuga's sword tips facing Naruto prevented him from performing a shadow clone, saying, I don't think so. Looking to his side, Naruto saw 3 more Hyugas engaged in a speed matching battle with Tasuki. Speedy little thing aren't you? A 4th Hyuga remarked. A 5th Hyuga said, well, so are we. Tasuki was trying to outrun the other 3 Hyugas with her speed when a 6th Hyuga caught her off guard and slammed her to the ground, causing the blue fox creature to skid to a stop beside her partner. Another tree branch erupted a hail of shuriken, which one of the Kurenai swiftly stopped and easily deflected. Then Taiyo appeared, charging directly at Kurenai, only to be distracted by the appearance of 3 more Kurenai. All 3 Kurenai struck Taiyo, and each one removed a kunai. When another Kurenai kicked him away, Taiyo quickly grabbed the blade of the 3rd kunai, allowing him to easily avoid the first 2 blows. When Hinata emerged from behind a bush, looking exhausted, 3 more Kurenai charged in her direction. 3 more Kurenai appeared after Hinata attempted to use her gentle fist but was phased by one of them. One Kurenai grabbed Hinata's arm and twisted it, forcing her to submit. Another Kurenai then placed her kunai against Hinata's neck and said, sorry Hinata, looks like you lose. Hinata turned to face Taiyo while 3 other Kurenai faced her. Though he lacks Suki's speed, Taiyo's strength and agility allowed him to hold back and dodge 2 of the Kurenai until the 3rd one threw him into a trap that caught one of his hind legs and lifted him into the air. You're a tough little guy, you know that, one of the Kurenai said, to which Taiyo groaned in response. Parasitic insects. Swarm, quickly, while my insects keeps them occupied, Shino commanded, releasing a swarm of insects that eventually faded through each of his sensei's images until only the originals remained. Tasuki and Taiyo were swiftly taken by Naruto and Hinata, who then retreated in Shino's direction as Shino remembered his insects. My, How clever of Shino. Using his insects to cover the field in order to ensure that no copy respawns, they might actually pass, said Hyuga as he and Kurenai looked in the direction they had fled after the insects had left the area. Kurenai smiled and said, I hope we actually end up teaching them. This team might actually be interesting to teach. Hyuga grinned and blushed slightly as she said, me too, I always wanted to teach a genin team. It's surprising to actually see you like this, Hyuga-chan. Does Hayate know about this? Snickered Kurenai, causing Hyuga-s. Shut up. You've been hanging around Anko for too long, Kurenai-chan. Kurenai laughed and said, true, but the look on your face is priceless. Hyuga blushed and puffed her cheeks like a little girl who had just lost her temper. The forest Naruto patted Tasuki and said, thanks for saving Shino. Are you okay, Tasuki-chan? Tasuki gave him a comforting squeal in return. Hinata petted Taiyo and said, Thank you Shino-kun. Are you okay, Taiyo-kun? Hinata laughed when Taiyo gave her an affirmative yip in response. Shino pushed up his sunglasses and said, of course I decided to help when my teammates were in trouble. Naruto remarked, I guess confronting him wasn't the best course of action. Naruto groaned in exasperation as Shino said, and you Hinata seem to have forgotten about your Byakugan. Surely you could have seen through their tactics. Naturally, a ninja's greatest feat is stealth, something you apparently lack, Naruto, despite your prankster nature, Shino said, making Hinata feel ashamed of herself for forgetting her own bloodline limit. When Shino pushed up his sunglasses, Naruto and Hinata began to perspire nervously. However, despite this, we do know something about our opponent, he said, grabbing both of their attention. We know that they're not using clones, but rather a type of genjutsu, something to be expected from Kurenai. Sensei. My insects felt it when they passed through them, and apparently so are you. Why? You see I'm sure you two have your reasons for keeping this a secret, but right now this is more important. I've also noticed that Hyuga Sensei is more of the offense of the two while Kurenai Sensei tends to be more on the defense. If you two are holding back some kind of power, then I suggest you use it. We are up against two Jonin, and I doubt each of us can take them on alone, said Shino while Naruto and Hinata were in and at him. Naruto moaned, I feel like an idiot for not asking for help earlier. Hinata sighed, me too. Naruto and Hinata nodded their heads and looked at each other resolutely as Shino said, I see you two caught on quick. We need to work together if we're going to pass. Lead the way, Shino, they said. Ground of training. It's getting late, Kurenai remarked. Yeah, and this is around the time Kakashi Senpai says that they get desperate, Hyuga replied. Kurenai grinned and said, I think these three will eventually understand. Naruto shouted, Shadow Clone Jutsu, and a swarm of clones charged directly at his two senseis. As she and two other copies charged at the mob of Naruto's clones, one of the Hyuga sighed, Dance of the Crescent Moon. Honestly, Naruto, I'd expected something a little more original from you. Word of advice, Naruto. Never distinct yourself from your clones. Thanks to Tasuki, I know which one is the original. Hyuga cut through Naruto as he abruptly vanished, and Tasuki changed into Naruto before also vanishing. What? Hyuga cut through most of the Narutos on the side, with the middle one heading directly for a particular Naruto who had Tasuki on his shoulder. Naruto pulled out a kunai and yelled, Thanks for the advice, Hyuga Sensei, and thanks for revealing the real you. When Hyuga leg sweeps her, Naruto locks blades with him, but his leg phases through. Damn it. She's on your right, Naruto-kun, shouted Hinata, who appeared out of nowhere and used two kunai to block Hyuga's blow before Hyuga's sword stunned her. Hinata yelled, Behind us, Naruto-kun, as she saw another Hyuga approaching from behind. Hinata focused her chakra and extended her hand behind her. In front of us as well, Naruto uttered after launching a volley of kunai after observing that every kunai was removing one. Naruto extended his hand and focused his chakra. What do? Do they not realize that such a strong attack can kill them? Hyuga thought this as she swung her sword in a diagonal upward arch, only to have the blade collide with an invisible object while the kunai barrage collided with an invisible wall. Both Kurenai and Hyuga were taken aback by what Naruto and Hinata had just done, and they both capitalized on their surprise by exclaiming, Shino, now. The original Kurenai and Hyuga were the only ones left attempting to repel the swarm of insects that Shino unleashed, covering the entire field once more. Both Kurenai and Hyuga abruptly vanished in a cloud of smoke as Naruto and Hinata charged at their two senseis from behind, prepared to strike the final blow. Shadow clones? How? Kurenai shouted, That answer should be obvious, Naruto. Never leave your back open to your opponents. As she and Hyuga launched themselves at them. Drawing a leaf from their pocket, Naruto and Hinata focused their chakra on it, causing it to glow brightly and change into a blade. Impressive, you've got to teach me that jutsu, a startled Hyuga said after Naruto and Hinata locked blades with Kurenai and Hyuga. The words, "if you pass of course," came from Kurenai. When Hinata nodded her head in agreement with Naruto's statement, "Just you wait, Sensei, we're just getting started," she noticed Hyuga and Kurenai grinning. "What's so funny?" she asked. "Give a second," Hyuga said. "Ring, ring, ring." Hyuga said, and, "You lose," as Team 8 stared back at them in disbelief. "What?" shouted Naruto, frightening a group of birds away. "Time's up, you lost," Kurenai declared. "No way, Hinata and I had planned this out with Shino. There's no way we could have lost," shouted Naruto. But I thought we had more time," a confused Hinata stammered. After feeling around her waist when she couldn't feel the bell on her, Hyuga exclaimed, "Those were the rules since you didn't, what the? Where's my bell?" Kurenai said, "Mine's gone too," as she searched for her bell. "Not bad if I do say so myself," laughed Naruto, and he and Hinata grinned triumphantly. Tasuki and Taiyo stood behind Shino, each holding up the missing bells as he walked toward the group. "How? It was all Shino's idea, while Hinata and I fought you and Kurenai." "Sensei off," Shino would spread his insects to handle Kurenai. "Sensei's illusions," Naruto said. Tasuki, Shan and Taiyo.kun would then rush over under the cover of Shino-kun's insects and steal the bells when the opportunity presented itself. Taiyo.kun would grab Kurenai Sensei's bell while Tasuki, Shan would go after Hyuga. "Sensei's bell," stated Hinata. "Since we knew that both of you would have to fend off my bugs, there was a small window of opportunity before you could react that would have to be timed perfectly for us to obtain the bell," said Shino as he raised his glasses. "I see, but we left shadow clones. How do you know that those bells aren't fakes?" replied Hyuga. "If they were fake, then the real bells would have also disappeared after your clones vanished, right, Hyuga?" "Sensei," laughed Naruto. When the bells in Taiyo's and Suki's mouths vanished in a cloud of smoke, Kurenai remarked, "Not necessarily." When Tasuki abruptly grabbed both bells at high speed, surprising both senseis, Kurenai and Hyuga took out the real bells and said, "Sorry everyone, better luck next time." Chuckle. "Jokes on both of you, Kurenai." "Sensei, Hyuga." "Sensei, I had a clone fix the timer while you were busy fighting off the rest. They don't call me the #1 prankster of the leaf for nothing, you know," said Naruto with a beaming grin. "I'm impressed, Naruto. You really did prepare in case of a diversion tactic," Shino replied. Kurenai and Hyuga were shocked when Hinata grinned and said, "So I guess we technically win." Hyuga smirked smugly and said, "Not just yet, there's still the matter of who gets to go back to the academy," adding that, "one of you is gonna have to fail." When Hyuga said, "None of us are going to fail," Shino stepped forward, shocking Naruto and Hinata, who were suddenly taken aback and unsure of what to do. "Oh, how so? We obtained those bells together as a team, we worked together as a team, so either we pass as a team, or we fail as a team," Shino said with an authoritative voice. "After all, that's what the purpose of this exercise was, right? To see if we can disobey orders that would hurt a team, creating impossible conditions that would pit us against one another, and pitting 2 experienced Jonin against 3 newly appointed genin fresh out of the academy is considered suicide in a real battle. In that case," Hyuga grinned. Kurenai grinned and said, "You all pass," which made Naruto and Hinata celebrate while Shino grinned triumphantly. Kurenai and Hyuga vanished in a cloud of smoke as she said, "Congratulations, you are now official genin of the Hidden Leaf Village. Tomorrow we'll begin missions, so make sure you get some rest." Naruto declared, "Let's go to Ichiraku Ramen to celebrate." Hinata and Shino trailed behind. Ramen Ichiraku with Hinata giving him a gentle pat on the back, Naruto said, "I'm never gonna get used to that," as he stared wide-eyed at the long line outside the ramen stand caused by Hanabi working there. Shino pushed up his sunglasses and said, "Ah yes, I've heard that there was an adorable little cosplayer who apparently is drawing in a large crowd every day." A dejected Naruto, still shedding waterfall tears, said, "So I noticed."
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.